We're going to put this one to rest.
Yes,
Mrs.
please.
Chung, welcome back. So many people want to know what's going on in the Boise School District. You got sick in your classroom due to a rodent infestation. You end up contracting Lyme's disease from all of this. And the Boise School District tried to deny all of this.
You're lying. They just wanted to cover it up.
And you just settled for personal injury.
Defendants deny that such contamination occurred at any location or time at issue in this litigation. Everybody saw it. The whole school knew. You're all being quiet. They just underestimated me. If you with my kids or my students, you better look out. And you know what? Karma's a bitch.
We're going to put this one to rest.
Yes,
Mrs.
please.
Chung, welcome back.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for all the new listeners, we've gained a lot since the last time you were on. If you guys need to go back and get spun up on this final episode, it was episode 60 was your first one, and then we did another follow-up on 71 because so many people want to know what's going on in the Boise School District. So we're going to recap because you have gone through hell in the last several years from the Boise School District, bullying you, harassing you, coming after you, lying, making shit up,
100%.
Everything that they could do to silence you, because that's what the Boise School District does best to good teachers and counselors and students.
Yep.
You've gone through hell because you got sick in your classroom due to a rodent infestation.
Yes.
And because of the rodent infestation, ended up transferring larvae from these mice that you ended
Tick
up
larvae.
Tick larvae, because these mice that are running across your desk in the kids' working environment, on their aprons, on the dishes, in the appliances, in the dishwasher, and all that other just nasty crap everywhere.
Yes.
You end up contracting Lyme's disease from all of this, had no idea, got deathly ill, chased it forever before you were actually diagnosed by an expert. And then the Boise School District tried to deny all of this and said, you're crazy, and try to get you fired. And you, being who you are, one of the very few teachers that actually I've ever seen stand up for kids, especially in the Boise School District, have fought this tooth and nail to defend yourself and to defend your word and your honor and the students that you're trying to protect. And you just settled with the Boise School District for personal injury and got paid out by them after this long, horrible, harassing couple of years that you've just lived through, and we've been documenting it with you. So we got some shit to go. Okay. Good. We need to, I'm glad this has a happy ending because not a lot of people do, especially with dealing with the Boise School District.
100%.
So Mrs. Chung, let's jump right into this. Okay. Who are you? Where you're from? Let's just do a recap on episode 60 and 71. Like I said, anybody wanting to go back and listen to those episodes, we'll go into way more detail into those, but let's cover all the hot topics for all the new listeners. So who are you? Where are you from?
So I've been here for 23 plus years. So I like to say I'm
You're
from
native.
Here. I'm here.
You're here.
I work as a teacher in the Boise School District. I'm still technically employed till my contract's over. 2 kids. They're in the West Ada School District, thank God. And husband is he was a smoke jumper for 14 years, works for the Forest Service. We've just been here, living life, and I've been teaching.
Good.
That's it.
Good.
I mean, love it here.
Teachers, I want to cover on this episode, there's so many crazy things going on in the world right now, especially in the education system. Parents are waking up. Yeah. We get bombarded with homeschool questions and should we pull our kids? So I want to touch on that as well in this episode because you've been in the system for a while. You're a teacher that's hands-on. You care for these kids, and I want to see where the direction of school systems are going, how these kids are kind of changing and just the ins and outs of it all. Okay, so where did this all start?
So I started teaching. I actually was a permanent sub for the Boise School District. Okay. I got into the door, loved it, thought they were great, trusted everything. Started teaching family consumer science, which is like home ec, so to speak, like when you and I are in school. Yep. First couple of weeks of school, took a mouse home with me in my work bag. It ran out in my kitchen. I kind of was like, ooh, I think I might have, there's got to be a mouse issue maybe. maybe. Reported it, kept going, finding mice, finding droppings, couple years, reporting it to the principal, thinking they're taking care of it. I was on kind of like a semi-permanent contract, so I was careful. I stayed home with my kids forever, so I started teaching late. So I was not like grandfathered in. So I kind of like tiptoed around like.
For how long?
About 3-4 years.
Oh, okay.
I would say 3. I started in 19 as an actual hired employee of West Junior High, and then in 2023 is when I had like a huge infestation that I was like, this is insane. I thought you guys were handling this. And then I finally went to HR. So I sat on it for a couple years.
So during those 2 to 3 years
that
you're tiptoeing around because you're the new person, obviously it's just human nature to like, you're not going to come in and kick a hornet's nest immediately.
Right.
What was the school doing when you're bringing up? Because obviously you said things in the previous episode like, hey, you're letting the janitors know, you're letting your principal know here and there. What's going on during this 2 to 3 years while you're bringing up these situations?
They would just continue to put traps in my room, which I guess in the very, very beginning, I get it. Like, oh, I found one in my bag, one, under my desk, or the sub had called me one day and said, hey, I think you have a mouse problem. A mouse just ran across my foot, came out of the oven. So I'd report those, which, I mean, it was a weekly finding, like a dropping or, a dead mouse it was more like alive, hissing at me because they're on sticky traps.
That's great for these kids in a home ec room too. While you guys are baking, you got mice stuck to traps.
For sure. So I would report it like I was asked to do. I'd email. I'd get a response. Hey, so-and-so, can you please go get more traps? Put them in her room.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. Like, I just thought I thought they were doing what they needed to do. I assumed they had an exterminator. I assumed like, oh, we're up against a field. They're handling this. I trusted all of them. And in 2023, came back from Christmas break, and my students found these dead, decomposing mice carcasses on sticky traps under my sinks. And they weren't there when I left, for break. So that's when I went to the principal and I said, hey, this is insane. They're all over the place. Then I moved over to my closet. Then they infested the whole closet, urinated on cookbooks, all over the cooking utensils, dead carcasses in the closet, droppings everywhere.
And these students are in and around this all day, every day.
Yes.
Okay.
And there were moments in between, 2023 in January when I found this and 2019, there were moments where students went home and told their parents. Parents called Principal Cherry and said, hey, my daughter said that there were mouse droppings on cookie sheets and that they still were cooking cookies in there. So then I remember her coming in and saying, hey, we just need to make this mom happy. So it's not mouse droppings. We're just, you just need to leave your room, go to the cafeteria, play some games for the rest of the week until break. So they all knew, everyone knew, the whole school knew.
Did the other teachers know?
Yes.
Okay, I brought this up in the last episode. One of the most irritating things for me out of your whole entire story is how none of these other teachers at the Boise School District have stood up for any of these children during this whole process.
Not even to this day. Not even to this moment.
After the whole settlement, you've been proven right.
I don't think they know this yet.
Okay. But this
still,
whole entire time, it's not that you're just fabricating these stories and all mouse. You have students that are telling their parents. You have dead mouse carcasses stuck and rotting on sticky traps. There's mouse feces and urine on cooking tray utensils that these children are using on their aprons.
The other thing is, I'm not the only teacher with them in the classroom.
That's what I'm saying. How are these teachers?
Yeah. Well, and a lot of stuff came to fruition since our last episode with people in the background that work for the district that came forward.
Okay.
That's really good. That'll be good to talk about. Which was great and helpful. And I think it nudged the district to say, uh-oh.
Because it wasn't just one anymore? It wasn't just you fighting the Goliath? It was now you have a little army behind you?
It was more like the school district incorporated people from the back to come against me. And they didn't realize that some of these people were my old students who then contacted me and said, hey, I was told to do this. I was told to go do this in your classroom. That's
grimy.
Yeah.
So the school.
We'll definitely get to that.
Okay. All right. So
in 2023, I finally just said, I've had enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Obviously, you guys are not doing what I thought. Otherwise, this wouldn't be happening. Took it to HR, which then kind of put the hot seat or the spotlight on my principal because I thought she was reporting it to the district. Okay. I thought the district was then going to our contracted exterminators we've had for 20 years. I mean, because the district building, it's literally I could like throw a football to it.
Yeah, you guys are side by side.
They're on a yearly contract for keeping mice out of their building.
But not the school that you're working for.
Church. So we have two schools right next to the district office. And so...
What sense does that make?
None, especially when we're backed up to a field.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like that should have just been something we started from the get-go. That's just my thought. But so once I went to HR, then obviously I'm starting the pot. You know, I'm working with the union rep. And at that point, my principal, I always felt like she didn't care for me because of the way I taught or like the relationship I had with students. But there was never any tension and there was never any disrespect until I went to HR.
It's amazing how nothing is different except for bringing up a problem that's affecting children. Right. That's what triggered her to not like you.
Yeah. I mean, I assume she probably didn't like me before.
Okay.
But I never felt that way.
But that was the reason to put her over the top. That's the drop that filled the bucket and overspilled.
Right.
Now you're in her realm and you're putting a spotlight on her and she hates it.
So little things started happening. Like on the weekends, she'd say, oh, Michelle's questioning whether her room's clean. Well, of course I am. There's mice everywhere. Like the district signs off and then I find a dropping. Of course I'm going to question like, hey, is this actually usable? Can I be in here with my students? They said it's good, but there's a dropping. She'd go in and gut my classroom on a Sunday, send me pictures at 9 o'clock at night and say, oops, you better redo your lessons. I mean, that happened weekend after weekend after weekend. And I was like, what are you doing?
Do you think the principal was that a bullying?
It was, but then she got clout for it. Like then it was like, oh, thank you so much for taking care of a situation at your school and heading up the cleanup process. And I'm like, but you're not a licensed person to go in and clean a classroom that is infested with mice. That is not your job. It's not my job. It's not the janitor's job. Bring in a professional.
And if she's so concerned about it, why is she the one doing it? Okay, I guess if she's going in and cleaning up your classroom on the weekend that she's denying has a rodent infestation, that proves that she knows there's a...
That's where all of this stuff comes in. That's where when everything started going to the courtroom, I think, my opinion, they started recognizing like, oh shit, wait. Because I had to write admissions, which we can get to that in a sec. But basically... Once I went to HR, clause came out. This woman's a problem teacher. The attorney that used to work for our school district physically told the people who were dealing with my leave papers, they said, she is a problem employee. Give me all of her paperwork. Do not communicate with her because they were trying to give me my rights. When I was filling out my medical leave, once I found out I was sick, they were trying to, the woman in HR was trying to tell me, here are your rights with filing a workman's comp claim, and the attorney didn't want her to do that. So he took over everything and said, do not communicate with that woman. She's a problem employee. And I'm like, I'm a problem employee.
This is the attorney that works for the Boise School District.
Used to.
His name is?
Dan Skinner.
Oh, this is Dick Skinner.
Yes.
Okay. I've heard a lot about this guy, and I've never heard anything good about him.
No.
Every person that's ever reached out, parents, students, Miss Bolton that we're going to have her back on, every person that has crossed this attorney for the Boise School District says what a piece of shit this dude is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a big, I would say
he's a bully.
Yeah, I would say he's the foundational problem. I mean, you get your legal advice from somebody you trust, right? And I would never look at this situation and say, oh, we need to give grace, to these people. I want to, like my heart wants to, because that's just the kind of person I am. Like in my mind, I keep trying to come up with reasons why they did this or why they behaved this way or maybe this, because I try to make sense of the evil that came from it. Like I genuinely have tried so hard to see kindness and good in all of these people, just because that's just how my heart works. It's been very hard for me to do this, very hard. But he was the foundation and the person who was giving all of these people legal advice.
How long has Skinner worked for the Boise School District? Do you know that?
Shoot, I don't, because I've never been disciplined ever in my life as a teacher.
And now you're being crucified.
So I don't
through the
know
coals.
where he came from or how long he's really
I'd
been
like
there.
to find that out, because he was like a little henchman for them for a lot of other teachers. I mean, he had and I'm just speaking from other parents, teachers, and everything that have reached out since yours and Miss Bolton's episode has gone live. Everybody talks about this guy like he almost had a playbook. And it was textbook of how he would
100%
put his sights on you, attack you, bully you, harass you, push,
and not
push.
just with teachers. He did it with parents of sexual assault victims.
Yes,
So,
he was almost downplaying these children that are coming out about teachers and other students sexually assaulting them in the Boise School District, and he's turning and calling these kids liars. And parents liars, and they're over pushing things, and it isn't what it is. He for some reason, we need to find somebody that has some info on him, because there was a weird tie between the Boise School District and whoever hired him to be their little henchman.
Yeah.
And to carry out all these little hits on people that crossed them.
Some of them, I mean, I've wondered, is there a chance that all the advice he gave, they just truly believed? You know what I mean? Like I'm a pretty gullible person. Like my kids laugh at me because they're like, "Mom, that's AI. You're so dumb." And I'm like, "No, it's not. Look at this whale. It ate this person." And he's like, "No, Mom, Mom, you're so gullible." I am. I'm gullible, and I really try to see the good in everybody, even when they do something horrific. And so I sit here and go, "Did my superintendent really know what was going on, or did she trust the legal advice she was getting?" Because when I think about myself, I have a great attorney. I trusted everything she said to me. I entrusted in her. Did they entrust in him? And then all of the domino effect of that trust, like, is that where I need to give them some grace? I don't know.
There's no grace when it comes to children's health and wellness. There's no grace.
Yeah, I know.
Personally, if you made a mistake
I just like,
if you're making mistakes that they did for 2 or 3 years, just for you, not including everybody prior to you, or now, well, obviously he's gone not post from you, but no, I don't, there's no way you can give grace. Maybe one time, and that principal should have walked in your classroom, saw that these children have aprons that have mice,
fecal
diarrhea and urine all over them that they're baking and cooking and trying to learn in. There's no grace for that. Once it's been seen, that's your grace period. You going to them, hey, this is my problem, fix it. That's your grace period, not 2 or 3 years later.
Right. And once all of that started, it was just downhill. I mean, it was just I couldn't do anything right. Like I got accused of crossing relationship boundaries with my students.
Ooh, that's a pretty big allegation.
That one wrecked me because
for sure.
I had a student who had just come from a mental institution. She was really struggling. She was back. I was so proud of her that she was back and trying to deal with the chaos at school and the stress of her life. And they did backpack checks on her every day because they wanted to ensure she didn't have anything dangerous in her backpack. Well, they found a book that I gave her that the school district bought for me as teaching curriculum. I have 300 of these books
Okay.
that I would give out to all my students. It was a mindfulness teenage journal because I would teach them how to handle stress, teach them how to journal, like get their feelings out, whatever. And I get an email right before Thanksgiving break telling me that because I gave her that book and I wrote the same message in all of them, like I spent hours writing a message to each one of my students so they knew they mattered. And that's what I wrote. I said, you matter to me. This book is for you and your feelings. I'm always here for you. With an M.
I don't see a problem with that.
No, I don't see a problem with it.
And you're doing this for all your students?
Yeah, it's part of my curriculum. Okay. Other teachers have the book. The district used their funds to buy me these books. I didn't use my own money. I got it approved by the district, by my district supervisor, to buy these journals. I gave the counselors at our school a copy of the book to say, hey, I just want you guys to know I'm doing this in my class. Mm-hmm. One of the counselor's daughters is in my class. She has a book. He's seen it. He loves it. And they question why I am listed, myself and one other teacher, Mrs. Cools, who is truly super cool. We are always at the top of the leaderboard on the safest teacher for the students. And they've come to me and asked, why are you and Mrs. Cools always the top of like the teacher these kids feel safe with? Some of these kids have never been in your class. What are you doing? Well, they're like, no, they're asking me like this. The counselors are asking us in a good way. Like, what are you guys
I'm taking
doing?
it as a negative. Okay.
No. Like, what are you guys doing?
Okay.
And I'm like, well, we treat them like humans. That is my motto.
Imagine
Just
that.
treat them like they're human. I don't own them. So to give them a book where they have that freedom, it gives you questions. Like it gives them journaling jots, like to strike thought, right?
Great.
God, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? So I got accused of crossing a relationship boundary because they found that journal in the book or in the backpack. And I fought hard on that. I came with guns blazing back at this VP of mine and said, how dare you? And then he wanted proof. He wanted proof that the district actually bought the books for me.
You're the vice principal. How can you not just pull this up?
Right. I don't know. So then I had to go get my ordering forms and I had to get the documents signed anyways. So I thought maybe he would actually recognize like he was wrong. Like, oh, I apologize. The district bought the book. The counselors are aware of the book. You know, as long as you're using it correctly, or if you're reading them, which was part of their assignment. So of course I'd read all of them. And if I saw anything alarming, like I'm going to kill myself or I love cutting or I was raped or whatever it is, of course I take it to the counselor. I don't give them these books and then just abandon them. Mm-hmm. No, I never got
what was his
apology. Name? Bryce England. Yep, and it's in my lawsuit. Like I put it in my lawsuit as a part of the harassment side because I was like, you guys are just doing this to wear me down to get me to roll over and quit.
That's the tactic of the Boise School District. 100%.
Yeah, just resign. Like you're a piece of shit. Just resign, Michelle. And I'm like, no. You guys bought this book for me. It's a curriculum approved book. And you're telling me I crossed a relationship boundary with a curriculum purchased book?
That one is a huge, very bold statement for the vice principal of the Boise School District to accuse you of having
He even sent me a chart that showed what a counselor's responsibility is in boundary and what a teacher's responsibility in boundary is. And on that chart,
did you cross any lines?
No.
That he's accusing you of?
No. And I told him, I said, I can't help, nor will I shut my door on a student who knocks at lunchtime and says, do you have a minute? I leave my door open. That's the appropriate thing to do. I don't go into some dark cave with a student. And, I listen. And then I take that concern to the appropriate person. I don't try and handle it myself. I take it to the right person, which most teachers do. But I crossed a relationship boundary. But it's funny because all the other FCS teachers, there's a couple of them that use the same journal, but they don't cross boundaries. Only I did.
So now they're clearly looking for something to either get you to quit, just bullying, harassment tactics, or just to push until you just, until you roll over, make a mistake, or retaliate, and then now they have you.
Yeah, and I think they just underestimated me.
100% they did. I mean, we're going to get into that.
My kids call me a honey badger because honey badger don't give a shit.
Yep.
And if you, pardon my French, but if you fuck with my kids or my students, you better look out.
That's how it should be.
You just better
That's
look
how
out.
it should be. But
I'm loving and kind and caring, but do not mess
with
with my kids or my students. Like, just don't. There's no need to.
There's no need to.
There's no need. No. So that just once I got that email, and that was the same year, I'm like, okay, like they're coming after me and they want me to leave. And then after that, I figured out I had Lyme disease by process of elimination with the doctors, and just like had a hysterectomy and had all these things going on, and I was like, any chance. Like, my classroom's got mice all over it. There's fecal matter everywhere. At this point, I had no idea that my appliances were infested at this point. And I knew my room smelled funny, and I knew I could never get my dish towels clean in the dryer, and I couldn't figure out why. And it's because they had infested the dryer, so there was urine. So I was drying the towels that my kids disinfected in a dryer that was infested with dead carcass, urine infested insulation. Who knows? Who knows? So then I remember buying new towels thinking that would fix it, but then those towels just smelled gross. So I'm like, all right, something. And it is not my job to know what like mouse infestation smells like. I didn't know the dryer. I didn't know. I just was like, God, I can't get these clean. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. So then,
what was some of the worst stuff that you? I guess my question during this process of this rodent infestation in your classroom, what were some of the nasty shit that you were finding with these mice? Where were they? What are they doing? Why is this such a problem?
I would say the first grossest thing was in 2023 when I went into my curriculum closet. Like, I had already gotten used to finding a dead mouse or a mouse on a trap. So that, when my students found those under the sink and it smelled as bad as it did and he had to like cover his face, I was like, okay, wait, there's a bigger problem here and I better look into it. So once they left, I started digging through my room and was finding droppings and puddles of urine on the cooktops and stuff, which was gross to me, but not the grossest. So then I go to my curriculum closet because now I'm saying to myself, well, they're not coming in here. So I got to change my whole lesson plan, So I go to my curriculum closet to get some teaching stuff. And I'm like, wait, there's more dead carcass and it smelled horrific. And they had gone into my sewing machine. So I had about 40 sewing machines with cloth covers. They had gone into the machines and gone into the cloth cover and started building nests by going through my room or my closet and finding pieces of material to build a nest. And then they were laying babies and stuff. And so then there was like droppings and puddles of urine. And I do a fundraiser at the school called Wreaths for West, and we donate the money to a local family who needs help at Christmas.
That's great.
And it was so fun. But they were nesting in all the leftover wreaths, like on the wall. And so you could see the droppings. They urinated all over the cook. I mean, just destroyed.
And with all of that, the Boise School District still denying everything you're claiming. When you have pictures, you have videos, you have kids telling parents, they're still saying this isn't a problem.
Lied to the parents.
The Boise School District was lying to the parents?
Yeah.
How?
Because so once I figured out I was sick and my doctor's like, you need treatment, you're going to need to take medical leave. It is my job. Anyone who takes medical leave, they always email the parents and say, hey, I'm leaving. Your kids are in good hands. I didn't even get to start the year off. So I sent all my new parents an email and I told them the truth. And I said, like, I would not have my students, if I were the teacher, I would not put them in the kitchen room. There is a mouse problem. I wouldn't say I complimented the school district, but I did say they're working on it. Like, I did not throw them under the bus. I said, we've got an exterminator. We're trying to figure it out. However, the ovens are infested and they have not been replaced. Because by this point in time, I had found all the ovens infested and they lied to me all summer telling me they were replacing them. And they were never getting replaced because I would go in and look myself. So I knew that they were going to continue to lie and I wasn't going to be there to protect them. Like, I wasn't going to be in the building to lock that door and not get them exposed. So I told the parents. And then Janet Cherry rebutted my email to the parents.
And Janet Cherry's the principal.
Yeah, she rebutted my email, didn't put me on it, so I couldn't see it, and told the parents that there is no mouse issue in my room and that there hasn't been a mouse issue for over a year and a half. But, so this is what got me in a lot of trouble, is once I saw that email, because all the parents were sending them to me. They're like, what is going on? Who's lying? I'm like, well, it's certainly not me, and I have proof. So I took about an hour and a half, and I uploaded every picture I had, every video I had, every email I've ever sent to the principal about this issue for the last 3-4 years, created a separate Google Drive link, and I sent the Google Drive link to every parent I've ever taught.
How did that go over with the Boise School District?
I got deleted from the system. It's like, all of a sudden, I'm sitting in treatment, and I'm trying to like check my email, and I'm like, it's not working. It's not, what the hell? It's not working. And next thing I know, I've been locked out.
Because you brought proof and facts that the principal of the Boise School District is lying. And now that's their
because the dates were on it, right? So you said there hasn't been a mouse issue for a year and a half. And you wrote this.
And you timestamped everything.
Yeah, you wrote this in October of 2024. I found all 5 ovens in 2024, March 2024, infested. And the dishwashers and the refrigerators. So you do the math. March to October.
7 months.
Yeah, that's not a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's not a year and a half.
Not even barely half a year.
So I didn't appreciate them lying to parents. They would have done, like in that moment, that was the turning point for me. That was the pivoting moment, because I thought to myself, had they responded and said, oh, my mistake. Yes, I apologize. We did have a problem in March. We are working on it. New ovens have been ordered. We are doing a deep clean. We've got exterminators contracted. We're taking care of our teacher. We're working on this. And once it is all gutted and inspected and ready to go, we will let you know. I would have dropped my lawsuit right then, because this was never about money. This was never about like what attention I could get. And they just wanted to cover it up from that moment.
That's what never made any sense about any of your story to me, is that the Boise School District had so many opportunities to just be like, yo, my bad.
Yes.
We're going to get it fixed. Hey,
integrity,
thank you.
Accountability, that's our motto.
Everything we're supposed to be teaching children.
Yes.
Hey, Mrs. Chung, thank you for bringing up this rodent infestation that made you so sick you had to get a hysterectomy from it. We're going to get it taken care of. But instead, they just doubled down on the lies.
They even lied to the staff. So I sent the same email to the staff members before I left on medical leave, because my classroom became a room that was open to everybody. Like some FCS teachers will not let staff members in their room. I am like, come in, use the fridge, use the ovens, whatever. We would have like a big class or school luncheon, and I'd cook everything in it. So I'm like, do it. I sent them an email too and was like, hey, it's not safe in there. Do not go use those ovens. They are still soaked in mouse urine. They have not replaced them. Do not go in. Do not do a beginning of the school year baked potato bar and go bake 100 baked potatoes in there.
In a mouse shit covered room with appliances.
Like I just was doing it I wasn't doing it to disrespect the district or disrespect my principal. I did it because
it's the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to let them know. Like I opened the ovens myself. They are the same ovens. The same droppings are in there. The same insulation is in there from March. It's October. Or at this point, actually, it was August. But I'm like, and then she rebutted that one and told the staff that everything's fine. And I'm like, you're lying. You're blatantly lying. And you know what? Karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
Because you could have just said, yes, thank you, Michelle, for letting the staff know. I appreciate it. We've got ovens on the way. It is probably in the best interest of everybody's health that we don't go use those ovens.
What is so hard?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Everybody, like, I get it. We have a field behind us. There's going to be mice coming in. I get it. But just the lies, I cannot handle that.
That, to me, and that's the only reason that I even wanted to have our original conversation was because of how the school was doing. The school was working harder at covering it up, lying, manipulating,
Yep.
doing everything they could. They worked 100 times harder to cover up the problem than to just get the problem taken care of.
100%.
That's where I would love to someday, if there's some random ass other whistleblower inside the Boise School District that sat beside the principal and VP and the attorneys, and be like, hey, this is why. Because to this day, right now, it still doesn't make any sense why the Boise School District would have gone to such extremes to cover up the problem instead of just dealing with it.
It made me feel almost mentally unstable because I was getting gaslit from the word go. And I'm like, wait, I am not imagining this. This is not like the situation that occurred in 2023, the destruction that came from my classroom, meaning pulling everything out into the halls. Staff was seeing it. Everybody was talking about it. Then I was yard saled upstairs, room completely just demolished. Like everybody saw this. Everybody. Counselors, teachers, paras, students, everybody.
What's a para?
It's like a special ed assistant.
Okay.
Very important in our district.
Absolutely.
Good people. But everybody saw it.
But the school's denying
you guys are all being quiet. You're all being quiet. Not standing up for anything.
Nobody does anymore.
No.
Nobody does.
And it fucking sucks.
There's very few people. I just had a huge incident.
Pardon my French.
Oh, you're good. I just had a massive incident in the Denver airport. I'm not going to get into this episode. But let's just say I stood up for a little child in a terminal max full terminal at the Denver airport. All these people watched a child being abused and not one person said anything except for...
True story.
That's crazy.
Stood there. Off-duty cops. The only one that came up and backed me after I made a ginormous scene. Nobody did anything. And then once the dust settled, you did the right thing. Thank you for what you did.
Right.
Fuck all of you.
You guys stayed quiet.
Fuck all of you.
Yeah.
Same with the Boise School District teachers. Fuck all of them too. And I hate to say it, but the fact that they've yet to ever stand up for kids, dude, that sends me into rage. That's more than the piece of shit attorney, the piece of shit principal, all these people that tried to do everything to do that ran you through hell.
Yeah.
The worst people out of this whole entire story for me as a parent are the Boise School District teachers that never stood up and never said a word to this day, knowing what was going on in there.
I've said this before. I think it's fear. Because if you really, like, I try to do this. I step behind myself and I'm like, okay, if it was this teacher, I would go say something just because that's my personality. Mm-hmm. But I step into the feet of, like, there's just teachers I adore there, and I step into their shoes and I'm like, wait, if they're watching me get harassed, alienated, attacked, and they're not going to want to do it.
I could understand if it's you having a problem with something in the school. You have a problem with a teacher and you got beef and you got your own drama. Kids aren't involved. Yeah, I'm not getting involved in your shit. Cool. Do your thing, Mrs. Chung. Fight her, fight this person.
Right. I see what you're saying.
She's fucking crazy, whatever. But there's kids involved.
Right.
That's everybody's duty under the Boise School District roof to stand up and say something. And I agree with you saying because people are scared.
Yeah, they're scared. Or they just don't care about me and they're like, whatever.
But it goes back to the children. That's why I said if it was just you fighting some random, you got beef with another teacher, somebody's using your supplies, cool, whatever. That's just office drama.
Right.
The fact that kids are in this classroom with you, that you ended up getting so sick you had to get a hysterectomy and Lyme's disease out of this.
I don't think people can wrap their head around it. I think they struggle to be like, how is this possible? Because there's been like comments, a couple here and there with the news. People, it's just idiots. But 90% of it's supported. But
finite minds.
What's that?
A finite mind. I mean, we very simple to manipulate and forget and not want to believe. So it's and even with all the facts, people you can lay out. I mean, look at our government right now and who runs it. People are like, our government is the best interest for us. So I get that.
Yeah. So I think they had a hard time wrapping their head around like, oh, you have to go out to the foothills to get bit by a tick. No. And as the evidence compiled, I feel, and just this is my opinion, is that this school district started to panic.
there was definitely a pivoting point in your whole trial case, everything. Because you and I have had a lot of conversations just because I'm following along, because we also have Mrs. Bolton that's on.
Right.
And then once your guys' 2 episodes came out, it was opening up a floodgate.
People came forward.
It was like opening up the bottom of Lucky Peak. It just poof.
Maybe we just gave people courage.
And that's why I want to do this final episode to encourage people to stand up, because I'm giving you my platform.
I mean, we've got all these people doing crazy shit at the Capitol, standing up for all these rights.
LBGT and flying flags and all this other shit.
Up for that?
Nobody stands up for kids.
But you don't want to stand up for this situation, or
that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Never will.
No.
I don't, it's a fear. I honestly, truly think it's been this huge social experiment that the more technology comes out, as we evolve in these civilizations of knowledge and technology and everything that's coming out, we find ourselves just, our bubble gets smaller and smaller, so we just don't.
And we hide.
And then this is where we're at, and this is all that matters. And everybody's quick to pull their phone out, but not say anything because it's not my problem anymore.
Let's film.
You go to your office. You don't talk to anybody at work. You drive home. You pull your car in your garage. You get in. I mean, you don't even see people outside anymore.
I know.
And so people are so secluded. Now it's like, not my problem. I'm not getting involved. And that's where I draw lines when it has to do with.
I would say that was probably the hardest thing for me. None of the lawsuit stuff. Like, sure, I'm not going to lie. Like, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to the lawsuit. That shit sucks.
No, it wasn't easy. But it was harder knowing that the teachers I worked with, I've said this so many times, they're all impeccable. There's only one I can think of, and thank God he retired. There's only one I didn't care about. I could not care for. Every single person in that school, and then remove my principal, every single person is an absolute amazing teacher. And in my heart and my mind, I'm like, you're amazing people too. And I know I can literally like make a list of the people who probably deep down know what I did was right and support what I did and are happy that I stood up. But it saddens me that I didn't get any support.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm that guy. I'm just one of those people. When I see somebody that is going to die on that hill, and I feel that they're right, I'm 100%. Yeah. I'm picking my shield and sword up, and I'm behind them like, fucking let's.
Me too.
Like, if it's just 2 of us against the army, I'm like, okay, let's do it.
It's seen as, like, I'm seen as a shit disturber because they called me a problem employee. And I'm like, okay, so let me make sure I understand this. We have a teacher at our school, definitely will not say names. And she got upset with a student and flicked the girl in her forehead and cut her forehead. Thought it was funny, just flicked her. She got a letter of reprimand in her folder. I multiple times, 7 different times, 7 different dates with 7 different pictures to prove it, with 7 different emails I sent to Dan Skinner from March to August of 2024, where I sent photos saying, hey, I went into my classroom, lifted up the oven. There's still mouse droppings in it. It's still the same oven. I did it 7 times. Never got suspended. All of a sudden, I get removed from medical leave. I'm ready to go back to work. I go into my classroom. I unscrew the oven just like I always have. And I lift it up. Suspended. Accused of vandalizing school property. But I did it 7 other times with record of email and pictures to show, hey, I went in, I opened the ovens, like I openly admitted it in an email.
No problem.
Never.
But once you brought it up.
No, once I got released from medical leave and I was coming back to West Junior High to teach and take my job back.
Now you're a problem.
I got suspended.
How does that make sense?
They just I found out why later on so I have a student who was working in the facilities and operations, and they sent her over to our building and said, I need you to help the custodial staff change the locks on these 2 classrooms. And it was my classroom. And she was in my class, and she went through the most horrific childhood trauma I've ever heard of, and I helped her through it, and she remembers that. She saw me on the news and sent me an email and said, hey, I was working for the Boise School District, and they sent me to your classroom to change your locks. And when I asked why I was doing this and told them you were one of my favorite teachers, they said it's because they don't want you coming in the building to collect mouse evidence.
And that's the Boise School District.
Yep. And then this one's going to knock your socks off. So in 2020, it was 2020, I think, right? Or COVID. I had ordered new ovens. So I was the new teacher in 2019, found the mice, blah, blah, blah. I had all this extra money from the district. So I'm like, oh, let's get new ovens. These things are crap. So I ordered brand new ovens. Then COVID happened, got shut down. The facilities and operations came in to rewire my classroom because the microwaves were going into the wall versus the countertop. Somebody emailed me who was working with their electrician, went into my classroom together, and said that when they pulled my ovens out to rewire, they found thousands of mouse droppings. And that was in 2020. But they didn't tell me. Which means the ovens that I came into
had been
were
infested.
fully infested.
Way
already.
before you got there.
And I said, okay, so are you willing to go on record? And he was like, well, I don't work for them anymore. I'm like, okay.
Perfect.
Great.
Did he? Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Because I remember this, I don't know if it was our first or second conversation, but I asked you a question, and that was if you thought you were crazy because none of it made any sense. At that, it must have been our first episode because
probably.
you trying to explain everything to me, I was losing my mind trying to just process the mistakes that the school district was making, blatant mistake, like just. And she's going to quit eventually. Let's just throw as much shit at the wall and see what sticks. That, from my point of view, is what the Boise School District strategy was. Let's just make up so many lies. Yeah. One of them will stick and we'll get her fired or she'll quit over it. And it never happened. And then they just ended up showing their ass for a year or better.
I emailed my superintendent for help.
How did that happen? Or how did that go down?
She sent my email to HR and said, deal with this.
That's your superintendent.
The current one right now that's
for the Boise School District.
Retiring early. My husband contacted the superintendent before her because this all started before she became our superintendent. This was Kobe Dennis.
Okay.
And my husband was watching me like mentally. At this point, I didn't know I was sick from it, but he's watching like the mental anguish of getting harassed by my principal and like what she was continuing to do. And he reached out to the superintendent and said, I'm genuinely concerned for my wife's mental health and what the environment she's teaching in and what is happening. And he said, oh, I apologize. I can't help you because my sister works at her school and your wife decided to share her frustrations with her. So I can't help her. So you have someone's husband coming to you to say, hey, the level of harassment that is occurring, like trying to keep it more, like we don't want to file a big old report. We just can we get some assistance here? Like what is going on?
Who was his sister? You're talking your husband went to the superintendent
from before this one.
From before,
yeah.
Who was his sister at that time at your school?
I can't remember her last name. Her first name's Danelle.
And she was a teacher. What was her role at the school?
She's a fabulous math teacher and a fabulous person. So I went to her for help. Like I went to her and said, how do I deal with this?
Oh, and since there's conflict of interest, so he's saying there's conflict of interest between him being the superintendent of the Boise School District, his sister works at your school, you shared information. Now I gave
it a little bit of clout. Like, okay.
But as the superintendent of the Boise School District, that falls under his role as the superintendent. If he has conflict of interest or not, he should be addressing that situation, especially if there's harassment going on.
Well, and, this teacher, she's wonderful. And she and I started at that school together. So we went through orientation together, and I just built a friendship with her, and I trusted her. And I knew that if I went to her and said, what do you recommend? Her suggestion was,
go to my brother.
Yeah. So I did.
And he said, nothing.
And it was like, I can't help you. And I'm like, you have to be able to separate that, right? Yeah. Otherwise, we shouldn't entangle family working at schools because then 100%. You got boundaries getting crossed 100%. Accidentally, with students and different things. And so it was very frustrating to know I did the steps, right? I went to my principal for multiple years. I went to the union. I went to HR, or I even went to the superintendent right now, Lisa Roberts. Her husband was my principal at North Junior High.
Okay.
You either loved him or hated him. I loved him. I thought he was fabulous. A lot of people don't. I still, to this day, I've never had a run-in with him. I've never had a negative encounter. I don't care that he's married to our superintendent. He still, to me, was a great person for me. So I went to him, like, as a principal and said, hey, what do I do? My principal won't quit. Like, I was trying everything to keep it, like, close and, like, keep my job. Yeah, and do the right thing and get the right advice. And no matter what I did, nobody would help me. And so I finally was like, fine, fuck it. I'll just call an attorney. Like, I'm done.
And that's what led to the whole entire lawsuit. And that's
Everything.
what opened up the whole can of worms.
Yeah.
There's so much more to the story. So this is where people need to go back to 60 and 71 because you ended up hiring your own inspector. It was okay. Let's actually just talk about that. That's a pretty important thing. Yeah. You ended up hiring your own inspector on your own money to come in because you're just trying to prove how you're not absolutely crazy. How did that go?
Well, before it was a complete bitch to get them to allow it and get it scheduled.
Oh, the school?
Yeah.
Okay, because they're fighting,
my attorney
obviously.
fought hard and was like, hey, if you have nothing to hide, this shouldn't be a problem. Let us in.
Valid question.
And it was going to become evidence for my case. So we finally got it scheduled. And before he went in, they had completely saturated my room in bleach. So bad that his respirator has an automatic shut off if there's too many fumes. Yeah. And his mask kept shutting off and he didn't have enough filters to be in there because it kept shutting off. So they tampered with what I would say tampered with evidence.
100%.
You messed with my classroom, right? He still was able to find, even with the bleach, he still had a 152-page report showing fecal matter, urine, mouth secretions. It was nasty. There was hair. It was nasty. And he found it on their dishes. He noticed the mice were crawling up the straps of their aprons and then hanging out in the pockets. So the pockets were full of urine. And he sends this over to the school district. Well, the news got a hold of this. I mean, I told them that this happened. So
the news somehow found out after I emailed them.
So they do a public records request, and the school district's like, we don't know what you're talking about. We had parents send over requests and said, hey, it was brought to my attention. My daughter's a student at West Junior High. It was brought to our attention. There's been an inspection. They wrote back to her and said, there has not been, nor will there be, a third-party inspection of Mrs. Chung's classroom. Which
you just paid for and had the inspector there.
I had the report.
And the Boise School District is now lying again.
Told this parent it never happened.
What? Mm-hmm. So, okay. Mm-hmm. This is the wildest shit.
Yep.
None of this. This is what we're going to title this episode. None of this shit makes sense.
I need you to get a shirt that says "Make It Make Sense" and then put your podcast on it, and I need to wear it. Did you do it? I know we talked about it. Did he do it?
It's my favorite shirt ever. It's so hip.
I don't remember what episode I saw. Perfect. Somebody else said the same thing. It needs to be a shirt. I need a shirt.
It's perfect. You're going to love it.
Okay, do I look goofy sitting like this?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I honestly wish I sat like that when I did mine, too.
Oh, my God. Your episode was so good. It made me cry.
Thank you.
Made me cry.
That's really sweet.
Well, because you and Tanner actually are so much alike.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just your faith and your heart and your relationship with your dad and his relationship with and your mom. I mean, just your relationship with your parents. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's
you guys are so much alike. Yeah. He
looks
more like a little sassy brute, but he's the most sweetest emotional kid. Yeah, he's so great.
I love that.
Now we got a shirt appropriate.
Ah, you did.
We got an appropriate shirt for
Make
this
it
episode.
make
Make it make
sense.
sense. I should have worn it from the beginning. I was going to confuse people in clips, but
That's okay. That's okay.
okay. Now that we got a perfect shirt on for this episode, frick. Okay, where were we?
So yeah, they just didn't want to admit that there was an inspection done.
They're just I just don't.
Even the principal lied to her because she started with the principal first, and then so
How does the principal still have a job?
she's still the principal there this coming year. Apparently, that's just, I think it's her 14th year as the principal of that school. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's so much corruption. There's so much lying and covering and deceit and manipulation and within the Boise School District as a whole. It is terrifying. And this is
It
why
is.
I'm so glad my kids aren't in any of the system.
For sure. For sure.
It's just none
Yeah.
none of anything from day one of your story till the settlement that you settled with the Boise School District. None of it has made any sense to me.
And like I told you, that date in October was pivotal because I thought to myself, and Laura and I
Yeah.
became friends through this. So
Yeah.
she was a good support.
Trauma bonded.
Yeah, for sure.
Trauma bonded over
For
the Boise
sure.
School District
Yeah,
doing what
she's
they do
a
best.
Spitfire, and we handle things differently. Like she's
sure.
the super fiery one. I can be
She's a loose cannon. I'm just going to say
love
it. I've explained.
Laura, we love you.
Yeah, if there's somebody you
Like,
want
we
on your
need you
side,
there. Like we need you there. Yeah.
she's going to come back on because there's
Yeah.
a lot with
like,
her.
Her and I do things very differently. So it's good. Like when we find somebody else who's in the same boat, I give my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and mine's a little bit softer until you fuck with my students
Yep.
and my kids. Like I'm a little bit more like, okay. And she can just go guns blazing right off, which is great.
Oh yeah,
'cause
she's
the
got
courage
two
to do
Tommy
it.
guns with drum magazines. Just say hello to my, that's
And I'm like over
That's
here, like,
Laura.
hello.
yeah, You're all like
Yeah.
the school, and then Laura's like putting claymores
And
outside of everything.
She gave me nudges, which was great,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, we definitely handle things a little differently. And I don't know where we were going with that. Where were we going with that?
I have no idea. It's wild chaos. So
Okay,
I don't even
okay.
remember what we were
Well,
saying 2 minutes ago. half the time.
In October. Like it was that was the pivoting point where I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I can't be nice anymore.
Yep.
Just,
Okay.
if you're going to lie and you guys don't want to make this right, where we could have all just sat around a table, talked about it, walk me through your day, Michelle. What's it look like?
Fixed
When is
it.
food out? When is food not out? What do we need to do? Like it could have been easy. And I would have actually still asked, like, can you help me get workman's comp? Because none of this is covered by insurance because it's Lyme disease.
Okay, that's a great tie-in. Let's talk, if you're still cool with
Yeah,
it,
of course.
which I'm sure you are. Let's talk about how sick you got
Okay.
that ended up leading to you having to get a hysterectomy.
Yeah, so the Lyme parasite mimics like different diseases and autoimmunes.
Yes.
So it started like, oh, you're in adrenal failure. Oh, your thyroid's not working. And we maybe have Hashimoto's. Oh, your cortisol is like through the roof. Are you overly stressed? My hair's falling out. My face is rashing. I'm getting like mouth sores. My joints, like I couldn't move my hands. And that's why I wasn't working out for the longest time because everything just hurt. And of course, my periods were all weird. I was becoming anemic. It was just like, what
poor husband along with you watching you
what
do
is
this.
going on? Yeah, he's like, what is happening? Like, does she have a cancer somewhere
Yeah.
that's hiding? They were trying to figure it all out. And I remember mentioning my classroom, but never in confidence. Like, oh, this must be it. And then it was right after everything was infested. I just remember sitting there going, wait, am I sick from this disgusting? Because I didn't know it was that bad until that happened.
Okay.
And that's when they were like, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, you maybe could have Lyme disease, but that would be so crazy to think you have Lyme disease. So I was like, well, let's do it. I don't care. I'll pay the money. I've already forked out thousands of dollars. We might as well just add more to it. So they did the test, and sure as shit, you have 3 different versions of this one parasite. And that one parasite, this is where people, I think, are struggling to understand the connection. You can go into the foothills, get bit by a tick, find it in your hairline or whatever, pull it off. If you don't take care of it, you're going to get like the big bullseye. I think it's like Rocky Mountain fever or something, right? Mine is, I hate saying the word, it's like babesiosis.
Yeah.
Is how you pronounce it.
I believe so. I've heard that.
Babesiosis or people say it differently. It comes from the western black-legged tick that hosts on the white-footed deer mouse. Like, it's clear as day.
Did you ever have
sure, you can
proof
get it from a deer, but I didn't have deer in my classroom. I had white-footed deer mice. So they said, and I had bites on my arm that I, thank God, because my husband and I we're married to them, we're close, right? But him and I talk all the time throughout the day. We're texting back and forth. And I happened to just send him a picture of my arm where I had like all these bites, like kind of right around my watch band. And I'm so glad I documented it because that's how I knew, like, okay, I got bit by something on my arm. And,
in your classroom.
Yeah, and the inspector, he found so much mouse urine all over my keyboard, my mouse, no pun intended, like all my desk stuff, pens, Post-it notes, my chair. I mean, they were just, they're running everywhere at night.
They had free reign of your whole classroom every night.
And they have the tick larva. It starts as a larva, which manifests, and they're literally microscopic. It's like a crumb. They're so small. I would never see them.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Nor even be looking for them sitting in your classroom.
Why would I think that? I didn't even know you could.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Nobody
that
does.
ticks hosted on mice. I didn't know. And good thing I took pictures of the mice because I had experts from Washington State University. I had experts at U of I where I sent the pictures, and I contacted multiple exterminators in the valley, gave them the picture, and I said, hey, is this a white-footed deer mouse? Deer mice. Yes. Yes, it is. Very simple. Yes, it is. Okay. Well, hello.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how that occurred. And then once we figured that out, she just said to me, I think you're in full adrenal failure. So not only were like the stress of all the harassment and move out of your classroom and my teacher or my principal packing up my classroom and then like just making my life a living hell, plus my student, like just all of it. I just went into like full adrenal failure. And my doctor is like, if you do not like take a second and get healthy, you're going to have a heart attack. Like your body, you need
quit.
all of this. Like this is your whole hormone imbalance. Like you don't understand. And I refused to leave. Like at that time I had 9th graders that I had been with since 7th grade and they were graduating. And I was like, no, I'm seeing it through. I'm not leaving right now. So I just thugged it out for a couple more months, and then that summer got the positive results, and then was like, okay, I'm going to go on medical leave and take a year to like do the treatments. I've done 57 infusions and thousands and thousands.
Yeah, what's a session run you? Because you obviously
one infusion is depending upon the dose of what they do. The most expensive one I had was $1,500 for one infusion. Out of pocket.
And because there's no proof at that time relating it to the Boise School District, you're out of pocket on all this.
Mm-hmm. And Western medicine doesn't believe in it.
No. Which is
they actually hired a specialist from St. Luke's who had the nerve to look at my labs and write a statement on their behalf and say, this is fake. She doesn't have Lyme disease. Not fake. This is false. She doesn't have Lyme disease. And I'm like, so I don't know how about you, but you pull blood from a human being, they put it under a microscope, they see the parasite clusters in my red blood cells, because mine went to the level of where it wasn't just like the parasite in the blood, they were creating nests in my red blood cells, so they were multiplying. That's
terrifying.
Yeah, I was petrified. Like I've lost half my hair. It just chews your body. It makes you feel like you have RA. That's what they get told. I have Lyme RA from it. So like
what's RA?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's like Lyme. So it's from the parasite. So it just starts going into your joints. They like live. It's so gross.
And you have that for the rest of your life, correct? Mm-hmm. There's no getting rid of it?
Mm-mm. I found one doctor in Minnesota who said that his wife had the same parasite as me, and he was able to cure her. So I'm just waiting for my settlement to come in so that I can afford to do his tests, because none of it's covered. Like no blood test is covered. Nothing's covered.
It's so crazy too. I'm not going to get into a whole tangent about ticks because I am 100% believer that the CIA created them, and no, it's a thing.
Really?
It's 100%. No, it's legit. If anybody thinks I'm some crazy conspiracy, no,
that's so
this
cool.
is
I did
fact.
not know
No, it's a
this.
genetically they implanted these things to have Lyme's disease. It's not a natural thing. No, this is not.
Okay.
I'm going to bring an expert on to talk about this, and they're spreading right now. The whole
really, it is manifesting. Like they're crossbreeding.
Yes, it's all government created.
Yeah, I've learned a lot on ticks.
Yes, you go down this rabbit hole. It's going to infuriate you. But anyways, yeah, it's. I just got bit by a tick in fucking Kentucky last week, and I'm like, here we go. Like,
okay, you cannot get Lyme.
Yes, but there's a family we know. Before you leave, we'll get with the wife, get the contact of this woman.
Okay.
They had a daughter that was damn near dying here local.
From Lyme. Yeah.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
On her deathbed, literally, his parents are talking about how they're watching their daughter die. No doctors could come up with anything. Nobody could figure this out.
Was she my student?
No.
Thank God.
Yeah, I would have put those pieces together immediately. Anyways, they do everything. I mean, I'm talking the way that they were describing watching their daughter deteriorate over months and couldn't even get out of bed, just everything that you had. They take her to some witch doctor here, waves these little vials and does some little crystal shit. She goes, "You have Lyme disease." They're like, "There's no way. Go get her tested." 100%. Within like a month, she's back up and running again.
Wow, I'd really be curious to see.
She's one of these herbal. We took the little one there.
Mom has her contact.
Yeah, we took the little one for her allergies, and so Britt's pretty in tune with what's going on with her kid. I'm sure,
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
you're a very involved
Yeah.
mom. You know if there's something wrong with your kid. You're like,
Oh yeah, you just know.
So Britt already had a list of things, of allergies and stuff that she's already self-diagnosed and wanted to just see, and
Yeah.
that woman nailed every single one of them, plus some that we, like white potato. We were like, white potato? Yeah.
Actually, my nephew was allergic to white potato for a little bit.
Reds, purples, everything's fine. White potato. But it's just,
yeah.
it's just all this herbal stuff, and
Yeah.
modern medicine is the biggest scam. Biggest scam.
Yeah. So
Anyways,
it's
we don't
been
get on
it's
any
been a
tangents.
crazy. I mean, it's been expensive and it's been
Oh,
dumb.
100%.
It's just dumb.
I feel what
thing.
you experienced with the Boise School District is a micro organism of our government.
Yeah. Yes.
It's the same tactics. So when they in any corruption, they try to fight. It just deny, deflect,
Discredit.
discredit. I think there's what
The 3Ds
The
that
three
Laura
Ds.
talks about,
Yeah, that actually is Laura's one of them. I think that's where I got it. The
Yeah.
deny, deflect, discredit, or whatever the order is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with our government. Whenever you want to out something, so now this is just our establishments across this whole entire. This goes through law enforcement, public education, our public council, everything that has a board. This is how all of this stuff is corrupt, and nobody even thinks about it until it's challenged, and then
or they're in it.
or they're in it.
Yeah.
But we just
Well, 'cause
live our
I
happy
didn't-
little lives.
I was putting the Boise School District on a pedestal, and I remember a counselor at our school. She just retired. She pulled me aside and she goes, "You're wrong." She's like, "They're disgusting. I can't wait to retire." And I was like, "What? No!" Like me, gullible. Like, "Oh, they're so great." She's
see.
like, "No, you'll just wait. Just
Give it
wait."
time.
And I was like, "Damn, she was right." And that's sad. It's sad because I think when you remove, like you have this group, right, at the Ivory Tower, I feel like if you take them out into their own lives, they all have kids, they all have wives. And I sit there and go, what if I was your wife? What if I was your daughter?
They don't look at it like that.
They don't care.
Money and power.
Like, would you want your daughter teaching in an environment like this? Like, would you want your adult daughter?
They're not though. They're
Yeah,
the elites.
they don't care.
They're in their ivory tower.
Yeah, they
looking
don't care.
down on all their employees,
Yep.
their little servants.
Yeah. I mean, the right thing would have been to go after my principal and say, why did you not take care of this?
100%.
And let's go take care of our teacher because we can barely get teachers.
I want to send out an invite. I want her email. I'm gonna formally invite her on the show to come and talk about why.
She will deny.
100% she's gonna deny because she's a coward.
Yeah, she can't. She won't be able to do that.
She's a
I don't think she
coward.
could, even if the district, even if.
She's a coward because if you're gonna deny shit with kids, yeah, well, you're not gonna come on here and be
Yeah.
like, well, we didn't know. Well, here's all the evidence. I have all the pictures.
Yeah. I mean, once we got through into this whole lawsuit and got deep into the lawsuit, one of the things they did that I personally think, and I could be wrong, again, it's just my opinion. When you file a lawsuit, it's my job to create admissions. Like I drafted admission statements that they had to respond to, and they can do the same to me. So between my attorney and I came up, I think it was like 198 written admissions. And they're just like a question, like admit that in Miss Chung's classroom in 2023, there was a mouse infestation.
Yes or no?
Very simple, right? Well, they were refusing to answer them. Like they came up with some law. I don't even know how it worked, but like, oh, we only have to do 40. And then the rest of them, they just repeated the same like standard statement.
Did they select the 40 or was it just the first 40? Do you remember that? Did they go through and select the easy ones?
I can't recall. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so. But then my attorney's like, okay, well now because you're not answering these and I've asked you to, I'm going to do a meet and confer, which is legal. You have to meet and confer before you can go file a judgment or go file a motion at court to have a judge look at these admissions and say, hey, Boise School District, you need to answer these. And if you don't, I'm going to deem them admitted if you don't do it.
Okay.
Like it's like a process. And I could have a little like things backwards, but for the most part, the foundation is that. So she does this meet and confer, and they still aren't wanting to answer these admissions. So she files a motion, which makes us go to court. So in February, she was in court with the Boise School District's attorney with all of these admissions. The night before that hearing, they decided to answer them all, which wasn't very smart because then the next day it made them all public record and they lied on them. So, and maybe a person would be like, oh, that's not a lie. They have the right to object or say this, but I just want to read one.
Please,
okay.
Please read as many as you want.
This one's interesting. It says,
this is from the Boise School District answering your questions.
Yeah. So my admission, like here's one. It says, admit that mice can contaminate surfaces with their urine, feces, and saliva. They wrote, admitted that as a general matter, mice are capable of leaving biological matter, including urine, feces, or saliva, on surfaces they contact. Defendants deny that this admission constitutes or implies any admission that such contamination occurred at any location or time at issue in this litigation.
Rewind to you paying for your own personal investigation where inspector came in and the chemicals and found thousands of pieces of feces and everything else. Like, so that's a lie. Okay.
Admit that mice infestation in an indoor environment constitutes a health hazard. So they wrote all their like, I object, request, blah, 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 blah. Then it says, defendants admit only that, as a general matter, a significant and unaddressed rodent presence in an indoor environment may present a health concern under certain circumstances. Defendants deny that this admission constitutes or implies any admission that any infestation existed or that any health hazard was present at any location or time at issue in this litigation.
How many timestamps do you have of them saying that they're cleaning things, gotten it taken care of? So that admits to guilt that they knew there was an infestation if they're getting it taken care of.
Well, and Janet Cherry, when they were trying to suspend me and like get evidence that I was in there, she was taking pictures of my classroom to submit for evidence to get me suspended, and her pictures have mouse droppings in them. So
how are these people in charge of teaching our children when they're this stupid?
I was like zooming in because I have learned. I know what a mouse dropping looks like in every picture. I get worried when I'm like anywhere because I'm like,
you probably scan everything.
Yeah, I go to a restaurant. I'm like, I'm like so crazy. But
that's called PTSD.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. This one says, admit that mice in a kitchen area where children cook creates a risk of contaminating food served to students.
And the Boise District said,
as a general and abstract matter, mice in direct contact with food or food contact surfaces in a kitchen area could create a risk of contamination. Defendants deny that this admission constitutes or implies any admission that mice were present in any kitchen or culinary area, that any mice were in contact with food or food contact surfaces, or that any food contamination occurred at any location or time at issue of this litigation.
And this is all coming from Skinner, their attorney at the time?
No. This is the new attorney. Legally, my understanding is that because my attorney had requested and said, I want proof. And the judge demanded that we want to know who answered these. Because what I believe should have been done is they should have taken the people that were at my school
At that time.
and say, hey, you need to admit to the, like, we need to go over these. And then they would have said, hey, Janet, was there ever contamination in the kitchen? Yes, there was.
So their new attorney just filled all this out?
We don't know. Because
Oh, okay.
after this, they came and said, we want to settle.
Okay, so what brought the Boise School District to the point where they got caught and wanted to settle with you?
I don't know if I know for like you and I, in my mind, I see it as they got caught. I think what occurred is once they realized I have the lab work, I had a specialist up at Washington State University vouching that the Western black-legged tick is here in the Treasure Valley, because that was one of their biggest arguments. I had professionals and experts vouching that I had white-footed deer mice in my classroom. I had multiple physicians. I had one from Pennsylvania, one from Boise, and another one out in Reno that were writing statements saying, this girl got this from this. Like, I had all of these, everything. I was able to put it all together. And because that, I get, they're the defendant, right? They have to sit there and go, no, there's no way she got it from this. But I was able to come to the table and say, this is not rocket science. Like, you can put those pieces together yourself.
Children are putting it together.
Yes.
That are sitting in your classroom.
I get, like, nobody else has come forward, but my students also didn't spend 45, 50 hours a week in that environment for 7 years for 5 days a week. Like, you do the math on the exposure I had.
Yeah.
It's insanity. And I actually was concerned. Like, my principal was exposed. The custodial staff's been exposed. There's a couple of specific teachers who spent a lot of time in my classroom. And I thought to myself, there's a chance. But I think that's when, like, once everything started coming together, I think they may have realized, like, we're not going to win this fight.
But they were willing to go to the fight to the death on this.
I don't think they ever will. I don't think they ever were. I think that's why they didn't care about this. I think deep down, what they were trying to do is they were trying to suffocate me with documents. And I think
bleed you dry, so you couldn't.
I think,
keep
in my
them?
opinion, they were just trying to get me to
give up,
wave the flag, and I didn't. And I continued. Actually, I will be honest. Like, I came when we started the negotiating part of this. I came into it and I was very clear, just like I have been on your podcast. I said, "There's no reason to talk about a dollar amount," and the dollar amount was to help with my medical. It was not something I'm like, oh, I want to make all this money. It's to help me with my future medical. And all I wanted was workman's comp. Like, really? That's all I wanted. I
remember, I remember thinking back on your previous episodes, even in our offline conversations, never brought up what you're going after. Everything that you stated, unless it was a perfect game on your behalf. I just want my classroom clean. I just want my job back. You've said that since you and I got connected. Yeah. Those are your two. I just want these kids in a safe environment. I want the problem solution fixed.
Yes.
I want my medical
help,
covered.
Like, I just need workman's comp, but I got denied.
Yeah.
And honestly, that came because my school didn't support me to get that. They could have. They could have written in my behalf or helped me somehow, and then I would have had, workman's comp. We could have fixed the classroom, moving on, whatever. They chose not to. So I just think that once we started that negotiating process, I was very clear. And I said, I don't, like, if you're not going to be willing to do an inspection, see ya.
That's such a scary tactic because obviously I don't want to say they have endless funds because obviously schools don't, but the scariest part is knowing that the Boise School District's tactic to any good teacher, anybody that wants to stand up against them, they're just going to bully, drag till you run out of money or just give up and move on. Yep. And they've done, I think Laura was saying she has a list of 14 or 17 teachers that she's documented them through this process, and that's what they've done.
a trend.
Quit, left, went to different schools. Yeah, it's a trend, and all of the teachers and everybody in your situation, not sick wise, but have stood up to the Boise School District. It's almost a textbook tactic that they're using. They just flip the page. Okay, this is okay. We're gonna send this.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Okay, we're still continuing. Next chapter.
Yep.
Next phase of this.
Different situations, but same
Tactics.
process.
Yeah.
We'll just do it this way. And I had requirements within the inspection too. It wasn't just, oh sure, we'll do it. Because at first it was no, like we're not doing that deep of an inspection.
Yeah.
And I was like, adios. Goodbye. And I talked with Quincy and I said, hey, like I'm going to fight this to the bitter end. And I don't care what it costs, because my attorney was telling me, she's like, Michelle, do you understand what this trial will cost you? And I said, I do not care. And everybody's like, Michelle, even my dad, he's like, Michelle, do you understand what you're doing? And I'm like, y'all need to stop telling me this.
I do understand.
I don't care.
No.
And Quincy he was like, okay, this means we're going to like max out like another second mortgage. Like because in order to pay for trial, I knew like depositions, like I had already started. I told my attorney, nope, here's my list. Depose. Brianna Kuntz, Janet Cherry, Savannah Stahl, like all these people. I'm like, get them in. I don't care. I'll pay for it.
Did you have to sit? Was this ever you guys were in court going back and forth, or was this all just submitting paperwork and?
It's more just communication.
Okay.
Like email.
Yep.
And then like settlement. Once you start, I think that negotiating process, it has to be with a judge.
Yeah.
It's with a judge, and it was virtual.
Okay.
But I just was very adamant, like, this is what I want, or we're going to court. Because, and I was told too, you do understand, like, a jury's not going to force a school district to fix the school. And I said, it is more important for me, for the public,
to know,
to get more information about this, in hopes that then maybe they would, or the health department, or OSHA, or whoever might actually come and force this on them. But I don't care, because I know that the right thing to do is to fix the classroom. And maybe I'm not in there. I'm not in there, and I haven't been allowed to speak to anybody. And maybe they haven't seen a mouse or droppings since they finally got an exterminator and put door sweeps in, and, we're treating the property. Maybe they haven't gotten anything new, but there is still stuff in the walls. There is still an HVAC system that's never been cleaned, that mice are running and scurrying around potentially. So fix it. If you have nothing to hide, like if the school district had nothing to hide, does not believe in any way, shape, or form that there's an issue, then go to court.
I think it makes sense.
So
I just, especially with the parents, we've talked about this. Like, Britt would be guns blazing, torches just raging into that place.
Yeah.
If
there's one mom that's been huge a huge presence.
Okay.
And they shut down the room above. So they shut down like my sewing lecture room in the middle of the year, this year, like abruptly, like boarded it shut it down. And we all have tried to get records on it, and they won't give it to us.
They just boarded up a room inside the school?
So they were in there sewing. My understanding is they were in there, they were sewing, and then that was on a Thursday. And then the next day, the whole room was gutted, and the window, where the glass you can see through, they shut it, blacked it out so nobody could get in and see it.
Why?
Nobody would tell us. They claimed it was the teacher just decided she did not need a third classroom. And coming from a family consumer science teacher's perspective, if you have the ability in a building to have one room that's all your kitchen stuff, a room that is permanently set up for sewing, and then you have your room next door that's like lecture, kids drop off their stuff, that is a dream. Because you do not want to set up those freaking sewing machines. They're from like 1990.
Giant ass.
They're heavy. They're huge. The kids drop
Probably
and
the
break
same
a
shit
toe.
we probably used.
Totally.
Dun,
They're-
dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
You're sewing through them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, like, that takes up so much time in a day for seventh graders to try and set up a machine
or
and
some
get it
little
off a shelf.
woman trying to move a dozen of these things every
sure.
other period.
For sure. And so that did not make sense to me.
Nope.
And again, I'm not Brianna, so I don't know what her teaching way was. I'm not going to pretend like I know, but I was like, why'd you cover the glass then? Like, what were you doing in there that needed the glass covered? My thought was either like a mouse had infested in the machine again or something, or they found droppings. You can assume anything, right? But they wouldn't give us any information. So
that's terrifying. Like, what is going on? What mold? What bacteria?
Yeah. Well, that was in my request that they go into my walls, because when I spoke to multiple exterminating companies and getting like advice saying, hey, this is my situation. He's like, I wouldn't doubt if you have a foot of dead carcass in your kitchen walls, at least bones, structures. I mean, and mice feed on their dead.
And
So
it
draws more mice in. So if they can find a way in and they smell the dead mice, which might mean why my room smelled so goofy, unless I was making cinnamon rolls. And snickerdoodles, those two things covered it up.
Snickerdoodles will cover.
Snickerdoodles, friendship bread, and cinnamon rolls would cover up the odor in the room.
That's sad that you even know that.
Yeah.
So you're baking a lot of snickerdoodles every week.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think that was my request, is you're going to check the HVAC and make sure that ventilation system is good and clean and refreshed or whatever. And you're going to put cameras in my walls. And then it's a whole school inspection.
And these kids sit in here period after period, year after year, just inhaling.
Well, I told you the 2016, I had students, when I went on the news and came on here the first time, I had students I've never taught before came to me through Facebook Messenger and said, hey, I was at that school in 2016 and I was in Miss Burton's class. She was upstairs, math teacher, and she had mouse traps in her classroom and we're catching mice all the time. And she did not want to make a fuss about it because she was doing her interim to becoming a principal and was my principal's little shadow. And so she was like me. She's like, I don't want to stir the pot, let it be. And she also said she used to work in the concession stand and that there would be mice dead on traps. And that was in 2016.
So 10 years later.
Yeah. So, well, and then you figure maybe not 10 because they brought an exterminator finally in 2023. But Mrs. Cherry was the principal then, so she knew. And they were in the front office. And it's like what does it take for you to see this and not go to the district and get an exterminator? And, maybe she did because we never got to court and we never got to the deposition process. Maybe I'm not giving my principal enough grace in the sense that maybe she did go to the district early. And they didn't do it.
Who knows?
I don't know. But the negotiation was that I won't discuss anything unless you agree to an inspection. There's nothing to talk about.
And okay, so with this whole entire case, what was the biggest outcome of this? I mean, you lost your job.
I can never teach there again, my settlement says.
I mean,
not that I would ever want to.
Fuck no. Why would you ever want? I mean, for the kids, I understand that, but you're subjecting yourself to this toxic environment, which unfortunately these children are sitting in because that's our ancient boomer logic here in Idaho. Is hey, they'll be fine. They're only here in that classroom for an hour a day. But meanwhile, the teacher's there and everything's being spread through the school.
100%.
Just none of this. So once the Boise School District knew that they were caught in the lies, caught in the bullying and the harassing, and they just compounding lie after lie after lie. When was like the aha moment when it was at this with the questions? When did they realize, hey, we're done, we're cooked, we just have to settle with this woman, let's shut you up so you just move on, you can piss off and let's go on about our business?
I would say it was probably we started negotiating in December, and we didn't settle until last month.
Okay.
So it was a long time of talking.
Well, yeah, because the boy, I mean, dude, was it you or was it Bolton that they sent the cease and desist?
Her.
Oh, it was her. Yeah. Okay. I was expecting one from you because the Boise School District.
Oh, no, wait. You mean to you?
Yeah.
No, that was about me.
Yeah. That was you. I couldn't remember if it was you
They
or
wanted all our sidebar comments. They wanted all of our text
messages,
they wanted,
emails.
Like,
they wanted
this like pre-recorded as if I was coming in here and saying, hey, don't tell them,
Yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, we could have sent them everything because we have nothing to hide.
I had nothing to hide, yeah.
And you came in here and that's what we ask all of our guests, just be honest and tell your story. But it was hilarious to me that the Boise School District sends a cease and desist to us demanding our raw footage.
That's because they didn't have anything. I wasn't lying about anything, and I certainly did not damage school property.
No, and then they tried to get you for theft too because you took a piece of paper or something at one page. So yeah, that was the funniest part for me at all this. That's when I knew they were done.
Yeah.
Is when they were trying to force us and come at us that we demand all of your footage of your episode.
Private communication.
Yeah,
and you want my Instagram messages? Okay, here you go.
And we wrote back to that attorney to politely go fuck yourself. You don't know who you're dealing with. Like you think dealing with Mrs. Chung is going to be a nightmare? You have no idea the hornet nest you're gonna kick trying to come at me with that shit because I have a list of probably 50 people that are willing to burn the Boise School District to the ground. That includes parents, teachers, students. I'm like, we could play this game all day. I'll turn this whole entire platform into a missile aimed directly at the Boise School District, which I'm probably already going to do. So
good. Well, I think that so these got submitted to them right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then I got an email that was from my attorney that's just like, hey, they've asked what it would take to settle. And I just kept saying the same thing.
Because I remember you saying before you were never going to settle. What changed?
One, I knew I was not going to get my job back. I knew I didn't want to go back. And I wouldn't say I was getting exhausted because my fight never went away. But what I started to recognize is this was my son's senior year.
Okay.
And my kids were saying things like, your light's gone. Like, you seem so sad. And it was sad because I missed my job. I wasn't sad that I had a lawsuit or sad that I was fighting for it. I just missed my colleagues. I missed the connection every day, the routine, my students, like using my brain. And I just was feeling myself, like I was like losing myself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I started losing a lot of weight, and I was like still going through treatment and just not wanting to go to treatment anymore. And I just was, my husband was like, I feel like you're getting depressed, but I just was like losing my light.
Okay.
And just, And I just
tired.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, if I can at least just fight for the inspection. Because like I've said, it's not about this get rich quick scheme that people think. And I mean, it's a school district. You can't even do that with a school district, right? That's never been my plan. But I just was like, no, I'm not letting you guys get away with this. And I have to trust that. So the agreement about the inspection was it had to be a third-party inspector that is not associated or contracted with the school district or me. And they found a company, and they reached out and asked if I approved of it. And, I said to myself, I have no proof if, like, there's somebody who knows somebody.
Always.
I don't.
This is Boise. Everybody's connected.
I'm putting my faith that they're going to do the right thing. So
did the inspection happen yet?
No. They had 30 days to attain the company, and I imagine they're going to do it when school's out, is what I think they'll do. And then I can get a records request. I tried to demand a copy of it as part of my agreement, and it wasn't worth like dying on that hill.
Okay.
So I can do a public records request and get it when they finish it.
Was it worth it? Was this whole entire thing worth it?
Yeah. I mean, I will always say that for the sake
sure.
of kids. For sure.
100%.
Because it's selfish of me to sit here and say, no, because I could have just kept my job. Don't get me wrong. I have had moments where I ask Quincy, or I'll even say, like, I should have just let it be, and I'd still be doing my job. And he's like, in a mouse-infested classroom with a teacher or a principal who doesn't want you there. And I was like, I know. And he's like, and then your students would all be in there, and the future students would still be in there. And
it's
there would be
cycle.
you would just have this cycle, and it's just sad because I really loved my job. Really, really loved my job.
What did you love most about being a teacher?
I just loved the connection with the students. It didn't matter what we were learning or what I was teaching. They just lit up in my classroom. I don't know. I like I said, I treated them like humans, and they would come in and they would be so happy. They would like kids who were, I knew, chronically depressed or just hated life or hated being there. They'd come in my room and they just felt seen. And I like making people feel seen. And I think that stems from me as a child. I was never seen.
Okay.
Like I didn't feel protected by my parents. I didn't feel like really seen as my family. Like I just felt like I've always been this person. Like I'm the kid my mom would kick under the table to tell me to be quiet, and I'd be like, why are you kicking me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I just was always the black sheep, I guess. That's how I always felt. And so I always said to myself, I will never allow a child to be in my presence and feel that way. And I will never allow a child, because like I said, and I don't have a problem, this would be a whole different story, but when I was little, I was molested and I was not protected. And I had the courage to tell people it happened, and nobody helped me. Nobody.
Oh.
And
okay,
so
that makes makes so much sense to me of who you are.
Yeah, so I protected myself. I found coping skills myself all the way. I never felt safe with anybody until I met Quincy.
Damn.
So when I became a teacher, and I'm not ashamed to say I have a therapist that I was going to help me through all this. Otherwise I'd freaking lose my mind.
All on your own.
And she's the most incredible human being I've ever met. And she said to me, you have a gift. Unfortunately, some people's trauma turns into a gift. And she's like, you have a gift to look at a child and be like, something's not right. And the counselors would always ask, how do you know? I'm like, I
trenches.
just do. I've done it, been there. I've had people not protect me. I've had people think I'm full of shit or whatever. And I will not let a kid get hurt by any means. No, I don't care if it's a mouse shit or a rapist. Like it doesn't matter.
Kid's a kid, and their safety, and health is health. It doesn't matter what level.
And so
it's
when
on.
I left, I felt like because I, as a child, felt fully abandoned in that moment of time. So I struggled when the doctor was like, you need to leave. I'm like, hell no. No way.
Because now you're abandoning
I'm
all those
abandoning
kids.
all of them.
So because of your childhood trauma and your responses to that made you the person who you are today to fight for these kids. That's incredible.
And the parent.
Absolutely.
So
good for you.
Yeah. So I struggle. That's
good for your husband too.
Yeah.
We got to give him props.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
I just won't let kids slip through the cracks.
That pisses me off so much, hearing that and realizing who you are and how many teachers are not like that. And here they are pushing the good ones out again. Mm-hmm. This is...
If you asked me the absolute hardest part about the experience from start to finish...
Okay, what's the hardest part?
It has been that none of my coworkers have stood up for me. And I think that also comes from my childhood trauma, where I felt like nobody had my back in that moment, not even my parents. Not even my parents.
Damn.
And I sit here and go, you all know who I am. You tell me how good of a teacher I am, how good of a person I am, that I'm caring, I'm this great person, and you've all seen this go on. You've come in my classroom and seen me in tears because I have mouse shit everywhere, and my room is destroyed multiple times over, and you all just have gone back to your jobs, your door, shut your door, taught your stuff, the hell with her. And that, I think, has hurt me the most.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that even not having your history with trauma.
Yeah.
That's just that I brought it up, I think, in every episode of why these teachers aren't defending you and backing. That's what made me think, like, you left. I think the first time I was like, bro, she's either batshit crazy or she's dying on that hill that she's right. And you died on that hill. I mean, you fought it to the end, which good for you. Yeah. But that's what never made sense to me. Is that would be the most frustrating for me is you're standing up for something that you truly believe in.
Yeah.
You're going to die on this hill over it. Yeah. I'm going to jeopardize everything that I have built. And then nobody says anything, especially when it comes to kids.
Silence is almost worse because then you sit there and you, like, are they silent? Because they're silently supporting me and care about me, but they can't say anything because they know they think I'm suspended and you can't talk to an employee when they're suspended. Or do they just genuinely not give two shits about me? But yet, all these people have sat in a room and trash talked this principal of ours, begging, dying, waiting for that principal appointment email to come where she is leaving. She's finally leaving. They cannot stomach her.
And then they have an opportunity.
And they know what's going on. And they stay quiet. So
cowards.
Yeah.
Cowards. There's no room.
Yeah.
There's no room in my life for anybody like that. So I don't have friends. That's why I don't kick it with people.
It's hard.
I'll see something. Honestly, a lot of it for me comes, and this is kind of weird and way off topic, is at this age that I'm at and having a teenage daughter and young girls in this house, I'm now at the point where I'm looking at how people react to how they stare, how they look, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm looking for anything. Gone.
You and Quincy are so much alike.
Gone. Like, we'll sit in the airport with them. I'll be like, watch how this guy's going to turn, and just to teach them how men are. And that's the stage I'm at. Is now that I have a beautiful teenage daughter, and so I'm looking at all these I don't want to say buddies, dudes that are my age, and how they react, how they talk about women, and just their demeanor. And I look for anything just to get rid of people. Don't
get rid of me.
No,
I like you. I like you.
I know we got to get your husband on the show one of these days. We talked about it forever.
He retires in like a year and 5 months or something, and then I think he would. I don't know. You might have to talk to him. He might have to wait.
It's just people that.
It's unfortunate.
People suck, and people truly suck. They're just live in their own bubble. They're cowards. They don't have a spine when it comes up to standing up for defensive, helpless people, women and children especially. I don't fuck with anybody. I can't. If I know that you had an opportunity to stand up for somebody and you don't, you could ask my wife.
Well, you can't get fired for standing up for somebody. Like you can't. They wouldn't get fired if they reached out to me and said, "Hey." It didn't even have to be standing up for me to like administration. I'm talking a simple text message. Hey, I'm sorry you're going through this. We support you. We know what you're doing is right.
Maybe we're the ones that are wrong. Not wrong. I know not everybody's the same. Not everybody thinks the same. I get that. It's just I guess how I'm wired and you're wired. And I feel everybody should be wired that way when it comes to kids and protecting, especially as a man and a father and a protector and a provide everything that we are wired as men to be these alpha dudes. Yeah. Nobody says anything when they know they've seen this. They've been dealing with it for years in their school. And
or hey, how are you? How's your treatment going?
How's the hysterectomy go?
Yeah.
From your Lyme disease that you got in this classroom that I'm next door to you, but I'm not going to say a word to you.
I know. I wish that teacher would come forward. She doesn't work at West anymore. She's a little bit above me. Like she took medical leave right before me. And I
Did she get sick too?
I mean, her and I were neck and neck in like symptoms. And
did she get tested for Lyme's?
No, I don't know.
You reached out to her?
I tried to help her. I tried. And
Honey.
I get it. I think she's still an employee of the district, so I don't know. I get it. It's scary.
No,
I get
don't
it. But I will say this.
Stop saying that.
I
You
will
don't
say
get
this,
it.
though, on your podcast, that if there is someone or a student or a teacher at my school who's like, wait, I feel like I've got similar situation, I have actually set the groundwork for all of those people, because that is what I was told. It was like, hey, just so you know, you've settled, you're done. But you have set the groundwork.
Oh, for sure. You built a home.
I have the evidence. It's all there. So if there is someone who is questioning, like, okay, could I also be sick? Spend the money and check, because if you let it go, that's what they told me. They're like, you've had this for a couple of years and you let it go. So it manifested. And now to get rid of it, it's taking a lot to get rid of it.
Yeah, so pretty much if you were a student or a teacher from that you know of 2016 to 2023, if you were in the Boise School District, what school exactly?
West Junior High.
West Junior High at the Boise School District, and you have had these illnesses and weird symptoms as a parent,
Just
and you
get checked.
can't figure out why your kid's sick,
Yep.
should probably go get checked for Lyme's disease.
But you can't go to like your primary care.
Absolutely not.
Because
They're
they
not
just check for that. You have to go. I go to Functional Medicine of Idaho.
Okay.
They're rock stars and they know what they're dealing with. And yeah, I mean, just get help. Make sure you're okay.
That is so scary.
Yeah.
That is.
I truly pray and hope that the teacher that's in there right now could like sit in this chair and tell you that she's been in there for a year and not seen a damn thing. I hope she could, for the sake of her, because she was my friend. She was my closest friend at the school that took my position. And
so you guys aren't on talking terms anymore?
well, once I think they gave her my job. I don't know if they lied to her, because they gave her my job before I was even gone.
Okay.
And even suspended.
Well, you're out sick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They offered it to her. And I reached out to her because my daughter used to babysit for her. Or not used to, was like currently babysitting for them. And Riley was like, I haven't heard from them. I don't know if something's wrong. So I reached out and she's like, I'm just not comfortable under the circumstances of everything you're going through to communicate with you.
Coward.
Which I mean, I get. I
Stop
try.
saying you
I
get
know,
it.
I'm trying.
Stop saying you get it. These
I'm
are the
trying to
people.
have grace.
These are the people that are the most dangerous human beings. Are cowards. Cowards to me scare me more than anybody, because they will do the most.
Well, I'll tell you this. After she said that, I just told her I understood, wished her good luck or whatever. And then I learned that she physically took my job. And instead of being mad, I chose the higher road and reached out and offered her all of my curriculum.
Did she accept it?
She didn't respond.
She's a coward. What's her name?
I don't want to do that.
I'm just going to look it up. Write that note down. I'm gonna look who runs that now. She's a coward.
So I was sad. I was like, wow, okay. I'm trying to give you my curriculum so that you have it easy, and because I'm like, if you're going to teach my students, make sure you teach them.
She sucks.
The stuff. So I was
She
really
sucks
sad, and
already.
I don't know when I can reach out to her. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know, because I'm still contracted. Oh, that was so I requested that I stay contracted.
What does that mean?
So I could have just like resigned. And then contract ended, and they would have just like probably paid out my contract.
Okay.
And I was like, well, it's going to affect my retirement, my Percy and stuff.
Okay.
And that's kind of a mess for both ends. It's a mess for me. It's a mess for them. So I just made the suggestion like, hey, just keep me contracted. I'm not going to fight you and come on campus. I'm not going to riot. I'm not going to like stand out in front of West Junior High and do a news report. Like, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm ready to just like close this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got what I wanted. You're doing an inspection. Thank you very much. Make it safe and let me move on with my life.
Yep.
Like, that's where I was at. So they agreed. So I'm contracted still till August. I have to go get all my stuff in May, which that will be gut wrenching to go clean out.
Well, you'll be able to see if there's.
No, I don't have a key. So.
Oh, they already have it all picked up. Oh, okay. I was going to say you get to go back in your classroom.
I mean, the principal cleaned up my classroom in the middle of my medical leave and
Oh,
put
that's
it in
right.
a closet.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's all in there. So I'm just going to go clean it out and move on.
And that's it, huh?
Yep.
So from all of this, has there been anything positive that happened out of all of it from going at back and forth with the Boise School District over this infestation that they've covered up, tried to?
Positive, like for myself or in terms of school?
Both.
I mean, I feel like it made me very strong. Like I was already pretty strong. Like we went through a lot with Tanner being sick and handling all of that stuff, but I had to rally and just become more mentally strong. And I'm surprised that I did not ever like lose my shit ever.
I'm sure you came close.
I just worked out every day. That's a positive. I'll be honest. Like when you're a teacher, if you don't have the energy at 5 a.m. to work out, good luck trying to do it at night. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do something with my time. I woke up every day, did what I could, whether I was sick. Like I would come on day after treatment days and be literally white as a ghost, pale, feeling sick. And I would still show up to my class and lift weights the best I possibly could just for my mind.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was going to lose it.
Do you think the Boise School District learned anything from this?
I think they learned that the attorney they had was not giving them the appropriate legal advice.
Clearly.
I think they realized that he might have been taking them down the wrong path.
But it had worked before.
But
It's
I don't
a lot
know.
of teachers he ran out of there.
You have to remember it was a different superintendent.
Yeah, but the same.
I don't think.
I thought Skinner was there for a bit.
Oh, Skinner was there with the superintendent before, the one we have now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I wonder if he was not the attorney for my situation, and it was just the superintendent we have and a different legal team. I've wondered if it would be different. I see a lot of people have different feelings on our superintendent. I don't know her very well. I don't, but I know her husband. And I said, it's whether you hate or you love, whatever. Mm-hmm. I would like to believe that if we had different legal counsel, that my situation may have been different.
Okay. Do you trust the Boise School District?
No.
Why?
I caught them in way too many lies. I've seen like sexual assault victim parents outed in news media by our school district and disrespected, and being a person who was sexually assaulted as a child, it is, if you do not get the right help, you're damaged goods for a while. And those poor kids, they deserve compassion, and their parents deserve compassion, and our school district did not provide that whatsoever.
That's so sad.
It's so sad. It's so sad. They didn't provide it for me. They didn't provide it for Laura. There's other teachers, like the most recent one, that they physically had her arrested. Like, I mean, who does that? Like, you literally had a teacher arrested for something that was absurd. It was absurd. And so, no.
Our school systems are so damaged already.
Right.
In 2026, like I feel we're regressing in public schools.
100%.
The fact that they have teachers as yourself that are voted the safest teacher in the school every year. You're watching kids that you know have childhood trauma walk in your classroom and light up because of who you are and how they're able to be. Like, I get goosebumps even saying this shit. And they're the ones that they're running out of the system. Like, this doesn't...
It's because we also...
question it.
We question, like, what's going on.
It's disgusting.
So...
It is disgusting of how these establishments are run. The fact that they want the yes, sir.
Bend the knee.
Bend the knee. Mm-hmm. Don't question anything. Here's your curriculum that's created by the Rockefellers. Shut up. Teach them on to the next cycle. Just copy,
I think a lot of it's coming
repeat.
down to, like, money. So one of the things I've
Only.
experienced just in my kids' school district, which is not, this is not like a superintendent or a administration issue. This is like a state money issue. It's not like our superintendent where my kids go to school. He can't make the rules on, taxpayer dollars and how each child's paid for time in their seats or whatever. Like that's not on him. So I think it's coming down to money. So like when kids are missing school, it's coming down to if they don't have the right slip filled out for them to send to the state to get the money for the kid and the seat. And so I feel like that puts a pressure. The state puts a pressure on our administration. If we're shifting from like this Mike shit show and just kind of going to the basics, that puts pressure on a school district to be like, okay, we need butts in seats.
Do you know what that reminds me of? The prisons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no difference between public schools and prisons. It's just the first. It's the first phase of that.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably hard for you to hear that as a teacher, but you've been in the system.
It's not hard. I
but
get
if you look at it, COVID was a perfect one. When we pulled the kids out, when Brett was done, it doesn't matter where they were at the time. The school, going back, the school came out, hey, if you don't want your kids in masks, you got to get in line, sign this waiver. I remember the wife went and did all that.
Uh-huh.
She came home, she goes, watch. In that first week when they go back to school, as soon as they get their numbers, they're going to have their funding, they're going to require masks. And it was almost textbook.
Really?
To the T, she called it. Almost to the day. That Friday night, going back, or it was a Sunday night after the first full week, and they sent out, the Ada County sends out the, hey, we actually now are going back to mass full time. That's when the wife was like, soup, and pulled both kids.
Because
funding, it's all numbers. And the more numbers, if like you said, if kids aren't getting the proper slips, the tardy slips, the school can't file for that, then they don't get the funding for the butt and the seat that day.
Which sucks for the school district. Because I'll just use Tanner as an example. He's having to miss a ton of school the last few weeks because he injured his elbow. Yeah. And he's still playing lacrosse. So he's trying to do physical therapy. And he's like, okay, I got to miss this class. And he has to time it just right. And it's a game.
It's all a game.
It's a game, and it sucks.
It's the same thing. If we keep numbers in the prisons and they keep getting grants and they keep getting funding, it's the same concept of our public schools and the prison of how they make money off it. And it's not the superintendent, like you're saying. It's the state. That's where our governor, I don't understand how this type of shit, because you're not the only one. It's on the news. Yeah. It seems that the Boise School District is in a new lawsuit every month.
And there's more. Yeah.
Another $55 million lawsuit, another this lawsuit, another that lawsuit. How is the Governor Little, right? Mm-hmm. How is this dude being I'm for the people and I'm a Republican and blah, 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 and 10th generation? How does he see all this shit and not step up as the governor of this state and be like, hey, Boise School District?
I mean, I didn't go that route. Maybe I should have.
100%.
But I was so exhausted.
At least by some senators or something. Like, how is this?
Laura did, though.
Oh, she's there now.
Laura took like my stuff and other people's stuff and brought it. Like she was a powerhouse in doing that. But I
don't understand how our governor of Idaho, how all these senators and Congress, everybody that wants to represent the people,
sees this going on.
They see how corrupt the Boise School District it is, how there's another massive lawsuit every other month or every few weeks.
And not getting involved.
And they're not sitting back and going, hey, we should probably look into this. Why are all of these teachers being fired? Why are all these teachers being kicked out? Why are parents uprising? Why are students being sexually assaulted from teachers and other students and nothing's being said?
Right.
It's all over the news here in the state. It's on podcasts. It's getting millions of views and traction. How is the governor and these people that actually care about us?
That's a really good question that I've never thought about.
That's where my mind goes with this. Like, you want my vote? Take care of the Boise School District. Clean house. Yeah. Fire all of these dinosaur boomers that have been sitting up at their little ivory throne at the Boise School District office. Fire all of these fucks and start all over again, because clearly there's a problem.
There is a problem. And it's
major problem.
It's because they're staying in-house. There's been movement, though. So
good.
4 people involved in my situation have all been moved.
Moved or fired?
Oh, no, never fired. Just moved.
See, moving doesn't do anything for me.
Just moved.
I've been moved.
Either demoted or promoted.
But they're still making the same pay rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just lose
but
a
they're
job.
no longer in that position. So I think one thing that came good from this is I hope that the West Ada School District is watching this, watching all of the stuff that's happening and choosing this way instead of that way.
I would
Because
hope to God.
our superintendent for West Ada School District he's a rock star
Yeah.
to me. My daughter worked close with him for 4 years. He has a completely different perspective on handling stuff. And I hope that by him knowing what this is about, knowing what other people went through, it's all over the news, that he takes that and says, you know what, we're not going to do this. We're going to treat our teachers. I don't care if it's a teacher or an administrator or whatever. We're going to listen. Just listen. That's all it takes. And that is one thing he has always been able to do, is listen to at any level, whether you're a first-year teacher, a 10-year teacher, a counselor, a VP, whatever. He listens, he reads, he responds.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I would, like, when we were getting emails about like snow days or different things, I'm getting one from the superintendent in the Boise School District, and then I'm getting one from the West Ada too, because I have kids there. Mm-hmm. And I would put them side by side. And there was like West Ada, he's up here. Boise School District, way down here. Like, you just see the difference.
Quality.
Yes, 100%. So I just really, that would be my goal, is for the West Ada School District to be like, we're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do that.
Case study, everything not to do from the Boise School District being
like
the example.
Just because you're an admin doesn't mean you're the right one. Like, you control this situation.
So everything you've gone through as a teacher inside the system and being exposed to what is going on in the Boise School District, would you ever put your child in the Boise School District?
No.
Why?
Never. I had the chance to put my kids in there. When I started teaching, I said no.
What was the big reason? My original reason was because I wanted them to be with their neighboring friends. Okay.
Like, that was my original. Plus, I thought, I don't know how long I'm going to stay here. So I don't want them getting established and then leaving. Now, with what I've seen over my dead body, would I ever let my child be a part of that school district?
What if there was something that you could tell all of the parents that have a child inside the Boise School District right now? Mm-hmm. What would that be?
Keep your communication fully open with the teachers and the administration.
Can they be trusted, though?
I mean, see, that's actually a hard question, because if you said to me right now, I have a 7th grader, they're going to West Junior High, I would be like, that's great. The teachers there are amazing. I've said this from the word go. The teachers, like, we have amazing teachers, educators. We have a lot of amazing administrators that I personally know, that I'm like, they're amazing. My best friend works at Frank Church, and she cannot speak highly enough about her principal and the kindness that they show her with different things that she's experienced. And I am so envy of that, because I'm like, why couldn't I get that? Why couldn't I get that for this? So it's very hard for me to make that like blanket statement. But if you were to say, under the current administration at West Junior High, hell no. Nope. Hell no. Every parent tells me that. Every parent I run into comes up to me, most recently that I run into, and they say, I have a 7th grader about to go to West. Is the principal leaving yet? I don't want my kid there with her. And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. Send them to a different school, because there are amazing people. That's why it's so hard. It's so hard. It's who's up here.
Yeah, but at the same time, if something happens in that school, can you trust that teacher to stand up for your child? Cool. They're an amazing, the most phenomenal teacher in the world.
Right.
Who gives a shit if they're not going to stand up for your children?
Yeah.
Does that still make you an amazing teacher?
No, you're right. I mean, I think about We have amazing teachers at West, and I can think of a kid that I was going to give the 9th grade award to, and everybody looked at me crossed and said, "You can't do that." I'm
Why?
like, "Why?" He's terrible. He's a shit disturber. He's the worst kid in the school. And I'm like, "Not in my classroom, he's not." And they're like, "You cannot do that. Like, you cannot do that in front of the entire school." And I was like, "Then I don't want to be a part of this ceremony at all. So I'm not turning in any kid awards. I don't want to be a part of it." So I bowed out. And I was like, "I'm not giving an award because that's the student I want to give the award to."
And they had a problem with that.
Uh-huh. They
And
said,
what's crazy to me is I would look at that situation and be like, okay, clearly you see something in this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly he's showing you and reacts and behaves different with you than everybody else. So he's connecting with you.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to him. Because who knows, that little award that
"Oh,
took...
I gave it to him privately.
Good for... That's why I love you. Okay.
I gave him something
This is
privately,
why...
and I was like, and I
Good.
just left it at
And
that."
who knows what that did for that kid.
Yeah.
That little bit of hope, a little bit of encouragement, positivity put into this child's life, because God knows what's going on at home.
Yep.
Being seen, being
Yep.
heard, being recognized.
Yeah. Just
Can
it just
change
takes
some-
a little bit. Just takes one thing. Takes one tiny little thing. That's what I always teach my kids too. Like when you're at school and you see some, like Tanner's got this great relationship with this adorable special needs kiddo, and I'm like, "Tanner, do you know you just made his day taking that picture with him at prom? Do you understand what you just did?" And he's like, "No, it's not that big of a deal." I'm like, "No, it is a big deal. That's a big deal. One tiny little thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You put your arm around him. You took a picture."
Just the kindest gesture.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot. So that's why when I do think of public school systems and like behavioral plans, and I get a behavioral plan in an email and I just read it, I throw it away. I'm like, I cannot believe you think that's a behavior, that you think this is going to help that child. Locking him up, like locking him down, walking him, escorting him every class, picking him up from every class, and then instead of giving him some fresh air, maybe escort him outside to get fresh air and be with his friends and watch him if you're worried. But then you take him down to the office and you put him in a room. I kid you not. It's probably not this big, or it's not, it's this wide.
So solitary confinement.
Yes, with a tiny desk.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to sit there during break and lunch, and then gets a backpack check and everything after school, walk to the bus. Months. We're talking months. He never was outside with his friends. You think that's going to make him want to behave better?
And that's how the schools treat these kids? With behavioral
That's what my school
issues?
did with this particular, and others, but this particular student of mine. And I would go to bat for him, and I'd say, "Hey, why can't he go outside? Let him go outside. Let him get some fresh air. Stay out of it. This is the behavioral plan we agreed on." Okay. And
Who's
his parent,
we?
the lead teacher, the counselor, the principal, and then the mom would come to me and complain and say, "I don't know how to fix this. Can you help me?" I'm like, "I've tried. I'm just an elective teacher. I'm not seen as..."
I don't want to say this in a negative way. A real teacher.
Yeah, like I'm not...
I'm using air quotes.
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying.
No, I
who
know,
you are
but
as a
it's true.
teacher.
Like I'm just an elective teacher,
Like
so
a gym teacher.
I get dumped on. Like they'll dump the kids that they say are poor, like behavior. Put them in elective classes. We get all the bad behavior kids, and that one I wanted to give an award to. They came to me and said, "We have nowhere to put this kid. We are so sorry." And I was like, "I don't care." And they're like,
And was
"Good."
he a problem for you?
Like the first day, he was kind of sassy and funny, but my son is like that. So I was like, "Oh, I know how to deal with this." And then it took maybe 2 class periods that I just put him in check a couple of times nicely. Like, "Hey, don't do that, dude."
Imagine
or I'll
that.
come up to him and be like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" You talk to them like you're kind of with them a little bit. They just respect
level?
it. Yeah, a little bit. And then he became my biggest protector. So like if another student disrespected me, he stood up, stool came out from underneath him. He's like, "Don't talk to Miss C like that." And then I'd be like, "Hey, thank you, but I got this. Like, we're good," because I didn't want them to have conflict. But he was given a purpose in my classroom, and he just kept getting passed down. And I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal that like I'm better than anybody, because that's not what I'm saying. I just...
Cared?
Yes. And we have a lot of teachers that do. We do. We really do. We really do. We really do. We do.
You sure about that?
We do.
You sure about that?
I mean, my kids have experienced good teachers like that.
I think it all goes out the window if you don't have the courage to stand up for them.
That is true too.
You go to zero with me on that scale of good, bad, neutral.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though. It's just hard, man.
But if I had kids right now, if I was having like a toddler or putting a kid in kindergarten, I think I'd want to start them in a public kindergarten class and get a feel for the way the school system is now, because I don't know the way an elementary school system is right now. I know what it was, when my kids, but if I had a 7th grader and I was like, okay, you're going into junior high or high school, which I've experienced a lot of, not if I was going into the Boise School District. I cannot say enough about my own kids' high school experience, though. So that's what tears my choice, because I'm like, well, my kids had the most amazing experience in high school. They've had great principals. They've had great teachers. The school camaraderie that my kids experienced at Centennial is like I've never seen before. That school does not have cliques. They don't treat each other like garbage. They like lift each other from what I've witnessed, and they don't care if you're a cheerleader or you're in the band or you're on the football team or you're a basketball player. I see it. I hear it, and to me, it's incredible.
That's what you want to hear.
That's what I loved about it. But then I hear other kids from other schools, and they're talking about how they're getting, bullied because they play the saxophone, or, they're getting made fun of because they're on a chess club or something. And so it's just, you're going to have it. But I was fortunate enough to have kids go to a school that, and ironically, the principal we had is now our superintendent. So that might be why.
Okay.
So he started at our school as the principal.
Okay.
And he just started a good culture. So I think it starts there. Like if we had a good principal at West, we'd probably have a better culture.
100%. 100%.
Feeds into the high school.
Yeah.
So
as a teacher, would you ever put your kids... Okay. All right. We asked this one before. I'm going to ask it again.
Okay.
As a teacher, if you could do it all over again, would you homeschool your kids or would you put them in the system?
I think I would homeschool them until they expressed their interest to go to school.
Okay.
And maybe look into it at that point.
But if they never expressed, would you even consider?
That's such a hard question. Because I want to say I'd want to homeschool them, but my experience that I've watched my current kids, if I knew they were going to get that, then I would. But if they were going to get the experience that I, as a teacher, have seen, no. Like, it's so hard.
For sure.
It's such a hard, because we're not all the same, the teachers, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think I'd probably homeschool out of fear.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
I listen to her come home from groups in church and these meeting or the hell's the word I'm looking for?
Like cohort teaching
No,
groups?
for her, like youth ministry groups.
Yeah,
and hearing her and the wife talk, and I'll just listen and what these teenage girls are going through. It, as a father, it would break my heart.
Yeah, there's a lot with social media and competition, and yeah, I get that part for sure.
Okay, so as a teacher watching this, what is something that these kids are battling every day that you noticed as a teacher?
Acceptance. Just like being accepted for the individuals that they are. Like, also, I think having compassion for what we don't know. Like, we don't know. And I think that with one of the kids that I was mentioning with the behavioral thing, I knew more than the school and the counselors did because the mom would confide and tell me things. And nothing that was like it's not like I was being told of abuse or anything, but I knew that, like, you know, they're going through divorce and the husband was abusive to her and he was going to jail and all these things. And I'm sitting here going, do they know this? Like, if they knew that this little boy was experiencing, you know, in his room at night listening to this, or I don't know.
Not eating, listening to his dad beat his mom,
Yeah.
screaming, coming home drunk.
Yeah.
I would say I was guilty of that for a long time. You'd always see these kids with behavioral issues, just being a younger dad. You'd be like, fuck, little piece of shit. Like, look at this kid. His parents suck.
Yeah.
Then as you mature and you grow and you start being around other children, then you start seeing, look at the kid's shoes.
Yeah.
Look at the clothes he's wearing. Look at that
90% of
backpack.
the time when they're misbehaving, it's because they either had nowhere to sleep or nowhere to eat, like nothing to eat. They're hungry, or they had no one to take care of them. Like, it's so sad. And so you have, like, I just feel like if you don't know what you don't know, so just pretend like you do.
Just care a little
Yeah.
bit.
So that's what I do. I just pretend like I do. Like, I don't make up stories or anything for myself. I just tell myself, like, I don't know what happened to that kid from the time he left his house in the morning and got to class. I don't know why he walked in the school and threw a punch. Like, I know that, like, when I experience something with, like, if my brother and I argue or something, I'm pissed off, right? Like, you get pissed off and then you're mad the rest of the day or part of the day. Or when I was little, like, if he and I got into an argument or something, right? Or my kids, like, if my kids and I have words in the morning because, I don't know, which we never really do, but let's just say he might go to school cranky. He might go to school sad. Or what if they didn't get into their college, you know, and they just found out? I think there's so many scenarios that make a child behave a certain way.
And then on top of that, you have piece of shit parents that are neglecting their child. So they're clearly not teaching their children how to regulate emotions, how to process feelings, everything else that goes into growing up.
Yeah.
And then these kids are just dumped on a teacher's lap all day in a class full of other kids that are dealing with their problems.
Yeah. So
And then we expect these teachers to just...
You know what's interesting is what you just said. So there's this exercise I do, and I swear it needs to be done like the first week of school with teachers. I have my kids stand up, and they're holding like their little tray that they collect their ingredients on. And I bring all this shit from my classroom into my other room, and I load up like a plastic bowl and then like a roll of paper towels and some spoons and a jacket. And next thing you know, this kid is like trying to balance this platter and it's got all this crap. And sometimes it's like covering his face, or, you know, they've got their shoulder up because they're trying to, and never does the student ask for, and I didn't set any rules. Never does the student ask for anyone in class to help them with anything. And like sometimes they're dropping a spoon or something's falling off and they just let it fall. And at some point, at the very end, when I've put enough on the plate, the kid gets so annoyed, he just like drops the plate. And once that happens, I'm like, you just literally gave up and you never asked for help. And you had so much on your plate. And I ask questions, like I'll say, okay, how many of you have too much homework tonight and it stresses you out? And they raise their hand. I'm like, all right, well, here's all your homework. And I throw like a spoon on and I'll say, okay, how many of you, like your grandma passed away in the last 6 months? 3 people raise their hand. I throw something on. I'm like, okay, you just experienced
That's a great exercise.
A death in the family. And so then I'm like, when you drop all that and you never ask for any help, like I didn't give you a rule that you couldn't ask for help. You had, like, I just emphasize, like, you guys need to ask for help. You have to communicate with us or we don't know. And so I actually literally just did a visual exercise with my 20-year-old daughter because she was so overwhelmed with school and friends and work. And she was like getting heart palpitations. And I was like, right, I'm like, you got too much on your plate. Ask for help. We're here for you. Ask for help. I'll take your car in to get the air conditioning fixed if you need it to. Like, it's fine. You're here. It's not a big deal. Let me help you.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if teachers could just see that, like that visual for a kid, it would be helpful.
When do teachers turn? When do teachers lose the compassion? Did you ever notice? Because obviously we want to, oh, he's a problem child. But if that teacher truly cared, hey, Timmy, what's going on at home? Are you hungry? What do you, it's just so sad to me. These kids are just,
I think there's a lot of pressure. I've said this before, and I'm just an elective teacher. I mean,
you gotta stop downplaying that.
I know.
If you were a gym teacher, then I would.
Come on, one of my kids' favorite gym teachers is amazing.
Fowler.
Yes.
Yeah, Fowler.
We
doesn't
love
get
Fowler.
credit. Fowler doesn't
Call
get
out
credit.
to Fowler.
Fowler's a great guy.
Great.
We all
He's
love
great.
Fowler.
We do.
But he's a gym teacher, so we'll give that to. He's an elective teacher. You're teaching multiple things.
He's gonna be so mad.
He doesn't listen, but
He might now.
I'm
when
not
he Googles his name.
downplaying gym teachers, but I'm not the fucking
Yeah, I know
gym
what you're
teacher.
saying. I'm just
Okay,
kidding, yeah.
you're teaching multiple other things, but fuck, where were we even going?
Oh, just that, like, where were we going? Oh, that
Oh,
I'm
teachers
just
that care.
Yeah,
Teachers that
so
care.
like I know I say okay, I'm just an elective teacher, but I don't have the same like requirements that a lot of core teachers have.
Okay.
Right? They have state testing, they have AP testing, they have ISAT test, like they have all this stuff they have to prep kids for.
Which none of
and
it
doesn't
means anything.
Right, I know, but they still have that pressure, right?
Standards.
Yes, and they have to teach. Like I can look at my curriculum and look at the calendar and be like, oh crap, okay, I've got 5 weeks left, and I totally did not get to the freaking teen romance unit, which I hate teaching. I'll just kick it out. Like, it's fine. I'll dabble in it while I do mindfulness or something.
Okay.
I can do that. A math teacher can't skip the steps.
She has to teach by the standards given to her by the state.
Right. And I have standards, but mine are just, there's no kid that's going in to take a state standard test on family and consumer science. So these, subject teachers, they've got a lot of pressure. And they have a lot of like more grading than I do.
Okay.
And I can't even imagine being a math teacher grading.
So you have the best job.
I have the best job. It's a good job. It's fun. I still have tons of grading, and I'm on my feet all day. I don't get to pass out a test and sit behind my desk for an hour every class period while they take a test because we're doing something all the time. I'm at the grocery store at 6 a.m. I'm at
there's
the grocery.
trade-offs.
Yes,
There's
right?
trade-offs for
Right,
sure.
for sure. So I have a lot of grace for teachers that do like the main subjects.
See, that's a huge problem that I have in the wife too with public schools is the standardized testing.
They for
It's
sure.
the biggest crock of shit. It's the biggest waste of time. You mean to tell me we're going to take 100 kids and all 100 kids need to be to this standard? They're not.
That's not going to happen.
Out of that percentage, you probably have 10% that meet the standard.
Right, and then you get to college and they're, what is that, where they curve? They like curve all the tests.
Oh,
know?
Yeah, there's a term for that. And
So-
and that's where it's like, as a homeschooler, homeschool parent, we look at the public school system. We're like, make that make sense. That you're going to take this whole entire grade 12 and every kid has to be this standardized testing, which they're not.
Right.
Clearly, these kids are getting dumber by the year. The standard grades and the scores that are coming out are lowering.
Yeah.
We just talked about this.
Well, and-
Colorado is this public school system is so broken because of standardized testing, because we have to meet this curriculum by this date instead of actually sitting these kids down, teaching them about their body, how it heals, how it functions, what we should be looking out for, changes in depth, finances, everything else to be an adult.
Right.
But we're learning about the Pythagorean theorem, and I got to get on this standardized testing, and I got to score on this, and I got to stress out for the next 3 weeks while I take my midterms. Like, none of that fucking means anything.
Right.
Means nothing in the real world. But here we are continuing. Nothing is changing in the public school system. How is the whole world evolving except for public school systems,
So-
except for now they're on iPads and they don't even write anymore?
I know there's no books.
There's no books.
It's not.
There's
it's not
no
the same.
books. How do you
I know there's no
when the-
textbooks. I get it. Unless you do the mindfulness journal that apparently crosses boundaries.
Yeah, and get you written up for it. It's just that to me is where the system is so broken to me that we have standardized testing, and that's great.
Yeah.
Timmy knows pi r squared and can find me the circumference of this fucking coaster here.
Well, I mean,
cool, bro.
it's like when I went to college, I think I had 1 year worth of classes that had anything to do with teaching.
100%.
I'm like, I'm not going into school to teach Greek mythology. Why am I taking a class that cost me $500 on Greek mythology? I want to learn kid psychology.
Because it's a scam.
Yeah, I want to learn the art abilities. I want to learn like teaching actual kids education.
Why do I have to go through 12 years of school? Then I'm going to go to college, and now I have to take standard math and science and all the same bullshit over again.
Right. Instead of just jiving into where your career path will be.
I want to go to school for marketing and business. Right. Why the fuck for the next 2 years that I'm starting this and I have to do these elected classes and I got to pick up this course? No, I want to learn marketing and business and finance or whatever it may be.
100%.
Now, if you're going to be a doctor and some rocket scientist and you got to know advanced calculus and everything else that goes with it, cool. Why?
I know.
None of it makes any sense. None of the whole system, and I get it all the time. People are like, "Oh, you don't even understand."
I don't. I mean, I've been teaching for not as long as a lot of people, but I still don't understand why we have to have it.
Because
and again, I'm an elected teacher, so I'm not in it. I don't go to like all the meetings. I don't go to all the preps. I don't go to all the, district mandated things. And back to that question, they have to do all of that. So I feel that when you have that much pressure on you, I don't know about you, but sometimes if I am overwhelmed and distracted, then like sometimes if my son's talking to me, I'm thinking about those other things I come across a little maybe not as enthusiastic or something. So I can imagine a teacher, 6 solid classes, 30 plus kids, 6 times a day, trying to hammer these standards. You lose. I feel like you can potentially lose yourself in the compassionate, like caring.
Because you're not teaching anything to be compassionate for or over. It's copy, paste, repeat every single year.
And a lot of that comes from the state, though.
100%.
Yeah.
And so why would I be passionate as a teacher in my 16th year of teaching the Pythagorean theorem? But meanwhile, this fucking retarded ass kid can't even balance a checkbook, doesn't even know what credit is.
Oh, I had a student, I was selling grad tickets, and they're like, what can I give for payment? And I said, oh, check. What's a check? And I teach finance, and I was like, oh God. I know people don't write checks much, but you really need to know what a check is.
It's terrifying, the quality of kids that are coming out of public schools. And you don't realize it if you're in the system. It's just like anything else. You don't realize that you're in a cult. You get out. Till you're out of a cult and you look back.
My best friend is a homeschool teacher. Like, she's been doing it for 20 plus years in California. And I was just with her this last weekend, and she was like telling me all about it. Because I'm like, I want to know, like, what do you do as a teacher? Like, what do you do? And she was explaining all this stuff. And I'm like, that sounds so cool.
Fun.
Like, it sounds fun and
life.
Cool. And the kids are going to school, but they're also, it's like they're going to school and taking my class at the same time, like the life skill
real
side.
World.
Yes,
that's why I even hate the term homeschool. I love calling it life schooling because
that's actually good. Yeah,
literally now. And that's the biggest misconception with homeschool is that these parents are like, I'm pulling my kid from the system, and then create that system in your home. Yeah. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Clearly, it's not working because we have a lot of people that reach out on because Britt and I talk about homeschool, and I'm adamant on it. They're like, well, how do I build curriculum? How do I stop?
Just teach.
Stop.
Yeah.
How old's your kid? What does your kid need to know at this age?
Yeah.
Because even if you don't even teach them for the next 3 years as this 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grader, you could not teach them anything except for how to read and write. They're going to be ahead of the normal kid in a public school system.
That is possible.
By teaching them, taking them on the road, taking them to shows, teaching them how to run, whatever it may be, bringing them through life with you, they're going to pick up on all of these things along the way.
I mean, that's what happens the first 5 years. So
it's terrifying. The public school system terrifies the shit out of me.
I hope that we get some change, but I don't see it coming anytime soon.
No. Along with that statement, a lot of people see that there's no change coming. I mean, Colorado that just came out, that Colorado is reporting 10,000 students have been pulled from the public school system going to homeschool. There's a massive
That's
movement
a lot.
right now.
That's a lot.
Because you and I talked about it, and I asked why the numbers are declining, and people aren't having as many kids. No way. I called bullshit then because of look at the influx of people moving here with the families.
Right.
Okay, cool. People aren't having as many kids here, but we're getting hundreds of thousands of people
Well, and
that
I
are bringing
noticed
families
they're
here.
starting to districts are starting to catch on to the 4-day a week. The 4-day school weeks because of mental health and timing and all of and they're not worried about money and seats. They're just changing their hours to help.
It's not going to help. You can't avoid
It'll
bullying.
help mental health a little bit.
Will it? Do you think? How? Okay.
I do.
As a teacher, how bad is
I
the
do.
mental health in these kids in high school?
Because I haven't been there for 2 years. If I were being
Okay.
honest, I feel like I can't speak full truth. But from when I was, I think the biggest issue is that kids are hiding. They cannot have this conversation. I mean, adults are starting to lose the ability to communicate face to
I see it
face.
every day.
Yeah, it's really scary. So that's one of the things we've been teaching our kids is like pick up the phone, stop snapping, just pick up the phone, call your friend, ask if you're going to hang out. That's the best thing to do. And I feel like mental health of seeing other people, like the snap map, the whole like finding where everybody is, and then you see like, oh, they're all over here, and I wasn't invited, and like that. I just think it like chews their self-confidence down.
Oh, you're just
And acceptance in society, because that's all you do. But I didn't know where my friends were. If I wasn't invited, I didn't even know they were doing anything.
We were driving around not too long ago, and I see this yard full of bikes. And I was like, look, like that's how it was when I was a kid. And I haven't seen it in years and was sad that it triggered this old childhood feels. And I'm like, because there was like 8 bikes.
Yeah.
It just, you could tell the kids just ran into the house. And that's how it was growing up. And both the kids were
Didn't know where anybody was.
Had no idea.
Parents
I would
didn't
ride
even
into
know.
town.
Yeah.
My mom, I would ride into town and you just cruise the streets and you need to come around a corner. You'd hit all your boys' houses. You knew everybody would be somewhere.
Quincy and I, we agreed that we wouldn't sit and like map our kids. You know, like how people have the Life 360 and the Apple,
I'm that
whatever.
I'm that dad.
So I have Life 360, but I never open it to check where Tanner is. Like, I mean, Riley's in college, so
It is different with a boy.
No, even with Riley. So I would just call first. I would call first to give them the benefit of the doubt to tell me the truth, tell me where they are, what they're doing, or shoot them a quick text, be like, hey, haven't heard from you. Where are you? What are you doing? Oh, sorry, we're at Cooper and Spencer's, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool.
I guess I'm right there with you. I don't track. I'm not a stalker on that.
Yeah.
But there are times when I try to catch her slipping, and I'll grab little sis.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to go find her? Yeah. And then just because she'll be coming back from church. And we'll go follow her, and I want to see how she's driving. And so we'll like park. I'll see her route, and then we'll wait. Like I'll creep behind her. So I just want to see. Accountability.
For sure.
Accountability, especially as a new young driver.
For
She's
sure.
got friends in the truck.
For sure.
Hey, cool.
I get that.
It's a little slow moving
get
car,
that.
but I want to see if we're paying attention. So
But just giving them the opportunity to like
always
communicate, right?
always.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm huge on that, and I actually get like a 30 to 1 hour checkups
Yeah.
anyway, so I never
Yeah.
have that feeling. But there are times she's like, hey, we're going to the foothills. I want to know where.
Yeah.
That way.
Sometimes like Tanner will call us. I get probably the same thing, and he'll be telling us everything. And Quincy and I are trying to watch a movie or a show, and I'm like, bro, go have fun with your friends. Like, stop telling me all the tea.
Yeah.
You can tell me later.
Yeah.
I know you want to tell me everything, but go have fun. Talk to you later. Just don't get in trouble with the cops.
It's fun having fun kids.
Yeah, they're
that
good
you can
kids.
get along with,
Yeah.
and you actually have spent time and enjoy them
Yep.
around. And it's like
I treat my students the way I treat my kids, and my kids the way I treat my students.
that'd probably why would you not?
All the same. And
I probably couldn't treat students like I treat my kids. I'd probably be fired immediately. But they're like, what the fuck? This guy's a dick. Like, won't let us do anything. No, I'd actually probably be a rad teacher. I
think you'd be a good teacher.
I could. I actually being an instructor in through the military and everything
Yeah.
after. I love teaching. It's
Yeah.
actually something I'm really passionate about. Not on like a school level, but just anything that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. And it's just like, do you get to do life with?
And they're honest. I mean, there's been plenty of times where most kids could not call their parents and say, hey, party got busted.
That's my biggest fear.
Come get me.
That's one of my biggest fears as a dad is that she can't call me.
Yeah. We just had prom over the weekend. Tanner was brutally honest about everything that they were doing. I'm like, cool. You know the rules. Call us.
Yeah.
Phone's on.
Just call me. That's it.
Do not get in the car.
Oh,
if you
boy.
think someone's been drinking, just call us. And some kids are like, dude, that's so cool. Like, why can't I tell my parents that? And I'm like, well, that just comes
with trust and time.
Yeah,
Time
right. And
is
for sure, there's students and kids who probably lie their asses off, and so the
that's
parents
how they've been groomed.
struggle with it, right? So I mean, can't fault a parent for losing trust if something happens, but
also at the same time, why did they lose trust? Why
what
was there
happened in
such
the
a
beginning?
disconnection?
Yeah, so I think kids struggle a lot in that respect too, where if they don't have trust at home, they bring that to the school. They don't trust their teachers.
Authority.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Kids are such a fragile, amazing creature, and I feel this country, that's one of the things in this country that we fail miserably at is preparing our youth for
sure.
life. And
for sure.
And I never would have thought about that if we would have stayed in the public school system. Now you watch how those kids are raised, because we got to watch the split. It wasn't.
Oh yeah, I bet.
We weren't
How was that?
homeschoolers from day one. You know, she was rolling into that junior high, that area. Well, how old were you? It's been 8th grade. So right in that area.
That's like peak.
But
for a girl.
she had her little group of friends that, they're all coming up together. A bunch of them. And then we do high school, and we pull out of high school or, whatever, 8th, 9th grade. And to watch her just excel through life, and then to watch the path of all the trends, the TikTok, everything that evolves into this, which some people might not have a problem with. Me as a dad, I'm like, I want to preserve. I want the innocence. I want a daughter, not these TikToker and the girls that are running late and doing all, and you know how you see it. Once these girls fall, they fall quick.
Thank God Riley did not go into that.
Well, you guys are intentional parents.
Yeah. I mean, none of
And it's
her
hard.
friends that she hung out with, none of them, even her like college friends, they aren't like that. They're very mature.
That's what I'm very fortunate. Her group of friends are who I pray for.
Oh, that's good.
The group of friends, even the boys in her, she's got this cool circle. Boys, girls, I'm sure they got their own little drama and shit, but nothing that interferes, that they can all go, all hang out.
Yeah.
They're all big, huge believers in their faith. They all have so many similarities, so it's really cool. And half of them are homeschooled.
They're growing the same.
And they're all, they could all go to the Blue Springs, and they could all wakeboard and paddleboard. They do all this, and I know who she's with, and I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry, and that's what I pray for, but that's what's cool, and and there's the homeschool kids will get clicked up, and you're homeschooled. It's funny how you could always meet those kids, and immediately like that kid's different. And they're like, she's like, oh, he's homeschooled. I'm like, there it is. There's always something about a homeschool kid that stands out, especially the seniors. You could just immediately.
Oh, you can see
immediately. It's a drastic difference, but it all comes back to being an intentional parent, being there for them, building that trust, building the foundation of a relationship.
And same with being a teacher, being intentional as a teacher or an administrator.
Well,
so it's all.
I'm glad we get to put this to an end. I'm glad everything kind of worked out for you. At least you got paid, which I want to know at the end. I'll ask you offline. But hopefully it works out. What are you going to do something homeschool co-op wise next? What's the next chapter for you? Or have you even thought of that yet? Is it so soon?
I mean, I've been stewing on going back and getting my master's to be a counselor for kids, because the mental health there's not enough. There's not enough. I called around just to get a feel and pretended like I was trying to find a counselor for a child, because I wanted to see. Every counselor, 6-month waiting list, 6-month waiting list. And I'm like, we have kids that don't have a week. Like, this is not okay. So it kind of solidified that there's a desperate need. But I will not do counseling like a traditional counselor. I will not
It's
sit in
not
a chair
working.
like this.
Tell me what's going on, Tibby.
No, I won't do it. I mean, if you're in your college years, that's different. You can talk like adults, but when they're 7th, 8th, 9th, even starting high school, they want to be doing something. That's when students would tell me stuff, is when we were cooking, sewing, doing a mental health project, like building something. That's when they talk.
Because it's not an interrogation room. 100%.
So I kind of want to build something up like that. And I'll probably substitute teach, start slow. I do not trust right now. I do not trust. I mean, I trust, I don't know.
Why don't you start a co-op and teach
Well, you
kids-
want to know why Quincy was worried about me doing that? So Tanner's leaving to play D1 lacrosse
Good for him.
at Utah Tech.
How tall is Tanner?
5'11". He's like, I'm almost 6 foot. He's a cutie. They're so much alike. They know each other. He's a good kid. But he's leaving to play lacrosse, and I want to be at every game.
She's mortified right now.
I know. I said something when
mortified.
you left to get your shirt already. I was like, you and Tanner are so much alike. But he is going to be playing games, and I want the freedom to travel and see him. And if I run my own co-op, I don't have substitutes.
He's not. You don't need to see where he's going, but is he? He's not staying local.
Oh, no, he's going to Utah Tech
Oh,
to play lacrosse.
good for him.
So
Is he tripping right now with his elbow injury, arm injury?
no, he's okay. They just made it to playoffs.
Okay.
So he's playing on Mountain View's team right
Okay.
now. And yeah, so he's okay. He's like, I got 6 weeks I have to take off after the season to rest it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's getting,
That's a brutal sport.
yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, it's fun.
He's really good at it. So I'm like, I want to travel and see him play. And I don't want to abandon my students. I will feel guilty if I leave them to go watch him play. So
I'm sure there's a way you can do it.
I'd have to have substitutes. I think it would be hard. Because I struggle when I was teaching just to be gone a day.
Yeah.
I really struggled. I feel guilty.
I wish I had the funding. I want to build a building that is just a co-op of people like you, teachers
Yeah.
that hate the system, parents, moms, dads that have a skill that they are passionate about and can teach.
Yeah.
That would be my dream. If I had a dream job that I can do, would be to build this massive building that has
I said that to Quincy the last episode when we were in here thinking of doing like a elective homeschooling cohort and building like a building with multiple
Brent and I
elective
talk
teachers.
about it all the time.
Yeah.
We always
Because
look
kids, they need it.
That's what they need. And then
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, cool. You could come learn shop.
Yeah.
Come learn baking. You can come learn beehives. You can come learn gardening.
Yoga, mindfulness, meditation,
Everything.
finance, cooking.
Finances. Hey, this is how your body heals
taxes.
itself. Or
All the things.
Imagine if we taught kids about taxes and credit. Not taxes, how to fucking avoid taxes. That's the lessons in
Yeah.
School of BAM. All right, kids.
Maybe we should
This-
do it together.
We should. That
Maybe
would be
we should.
that would be
I'm not
day
kidding.
one.
I actually inquired. You know that land by Fred Meyer?
Yeah, they're
So
building
I
on it right now, right?
contacted that guy, I would say 8 months ago, and I almost bought the smallest lot to build my own like FCS cohort thing. And then Quincy's like, if you're taking this all the way, we won't be able to afford it. So I was like, that's a priority.
It would be so cool just to have
Yeah.
a place that, and it doesn't even need to be a full day thing. You can sign your kid up for one class and it's like, okay, cool. He's going to
Yeah.
come learn how to, and then to bring in trades where these kids are learning electrical, plumbing,
Yeah.
welding in high school.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. That's
Yeah.
school. But instead we're forcing everybody to become worker bees. You're
Yeah.
either going to work in an assembly line or you're joining the military. That's public
I
school.
will
to me.
say the public school system is starting the whole CTE and expanding hugely.
Are they?
Yes.
How?
So Boise School District has the DTech building. It's basically what you and I are talking about, but public school. But it's got
Yeah, we're the
welding,
only
all-
states that have that though.
Yeah, it's far and few between, and it's very. I feel like it's very slowly. Specifically, my program, I feel like I don't know if it's going to be around. I don't know how much longer it'll be around in the junior high side of things. High school, it will probably stay because of like Renaissance
Yeah.
and the culinary side. But they push real hard and they fight really, really hard for that CTE program. which is like dental hygienists and welders and mechanics and engineering and I mean all of that. They do have some good programs.
Yeah, no, and I actually met a guy that started it or whatever. And that was what was really cool about Idaho is that they have programs like these kids can, and correct me if I'm wrong, they can leave, and this probably is what you're talking about. They leave high school, but they're already learning almost lineman stuff already, or welding, and so they can go into the trades pretty much in high school here in Idaho, and then they graduate with a high school diploma. Then they could walk right across the street and go to the lineman school, and then they're a lineman, and they already have 3 years of high school experience of learning this stuff.
Right.
That I'm all for.
That's all great, especially with like the Renaissance. They have a
100%.
huge, cool culinary, all that stuff.
But I feel like the Renaissance kids get like you always see. I talk to some guys and they're like, "Oh, the Renaissance, like that almost labeled like it's."
Almost like it's a special needs school, but it's not.
Yes.
It's like actually those kids are
like gifted and talented or
top-notch.
whatever. And so but it has this image on it.
I know. I don't know why.
It's just something I've heard.
Happened.
It's like, oh, those kids they're the special kids or whatever.
I don't know why that is the case because that is not the case at all.
You dig into it and like these kids are intelligent.
Oh my gosh.
But if
we have a friend's son who does their culinary program. He's a senior with Tanner, and the dishes that he creates and the pictures I see, it's like so cool.
Because that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's I wish we could just absorb that through all of the schools, that these kids are just able to learn.
It's funny.
Is it though? How much funding are we giving into
I know.
standardized testing?
I know. They need to change their priorities.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to rant on my soapbox for long enough. So.
Well, thank you for having me all these times. It's been nice. It's been a good, safe place to get this out.
Cool. I'm glad you came on. I'm glad we put this to rest. I'm glad the Boise School District finally paid you out, even though you weren't looking for that. Hopefully they make some changes. If not, we're not going anywhere. I'm sure we will have some more whistleblowers that'll come out and let us know really, really quick if they're going to make a decision, because I'm fucking after you, the Boise School District. I'm after you. I'm coming after them because if you're going to mess with kids and neglect kids and don't care about them, I am public enemy number one for you. I am going to torch it. So
I would agree.
Well,
thank you.
Best of luck to the next adventure that you guys got coming up, and Godspeed with everything. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Cool.
Very good.
That's a wrap.
Miss Chung, I think you're the 1% that these kids need.
Oh my gosh,
Like
you're so sweet.
in the best way. No, seriously. Every time you come on and how you are as a teacher, I wish I had teachers like you when I was in school.
You're so
But
sweet.
I think there is a reason that you're put in the position